Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to another Saturday. It's Synth Geekery Show, episode 247, according to the number on my screen. Losing count quite quickly here. How's everyone going? How's your week been? How's your synth life been going? Have you been recording? Have you been getting any new gear? Tell us where you're from in chat. Chatties are jumping in real quick here, so let us know. Say hi if you're new, and let us know where you're from. We have our regular guest here. I think Ian's trying to connect. I'm not sure what's going on with Ian. I do believe he is calling from a different location, but we'll get Ian in as soon as we can. Big hello to the guys here, Daren and Andy and Chris. How are you guys going? Good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Hope you're going well.
Awesome. We've got a good flow of people coming in to chat, so you can see them in the bottom right hand corner there. This week we've got a standard regular show that we always do. There's some gear, there's some memes, there's some price watching. But behind me I've got the DX7 plugged in, or let's be precise, it's the DX7 2-FD, and yes, excellent. The FD works. If you're wondering, it's one of those older style floppy disk drives. It's the double density ones, so they are actually quite rare, and if they do die, they're actually hard to fix or
Emacs 2
replace.
has that too. It's a pain.
So I'm really, really lucky I've got it, and it's funny because I was thinking of selling it, and then I pulled it out, and I probably won't. I'm probably not going to. Oh. I'm going to see if I can hang on to it. I absolutely love my DX7, so it's kind of, it's just so, well, it's important to me because it's basically the first synth that I ever played.
Okay.
Or technically not that one. The actual DX7 itself with the membrane buttons and everything. That's the synth. My uncle had it. And my uncle's actually a famous composer. So in the 80s, he, long hair and lots of interesting things going on.
Did he sport a mullet? Did he? He sported
No. It was more. It was more. He looked a bit like Jesus. He had like a massively long beard and hair everywhere.
Late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, it was late 70s. Right? But the DX7 wasn't. The DX7 was in the 80s.
No, 80s.
I actually spoke to him the other day. He's in his 70s now,
nice.
And still cooking around. And he's actually given me permission to remix his music from the 80s, and the 80s stuff has plenty of DX7 in it, and he's at the time he was a percussionist, among many other hats that he wore, and he has some amazing different ethnic drums recorded on some of his music. So I'm just waiting for him to send me some stems. I don't know how, because I've only got bad recordings, like I've got cassette and the quality I'm trying to get. His name is Robert Lloyd.
Okay.
If you want to check him out.
Yes, we'll have to check him out.
But yeah. Right. We have got a show to do. So we'll have the DX7.
Hey.
And no, it's not a doorbell sound. It's a whistle
Nothing
sound.
like a good
Actually, it
chief.
does a really, really good... It does a really good job at a lot of sounds. And a lot of people don't actually know that. Like, a lot of people think FM is crap. It can only do whistle and doorbells and high-pitched squeals, and it can do a lot of stuff. In fact, there's music that you listen to that has DX7 sounds in it that I guarantee you, if you're not a massive synth nerd, if you're just kind of like a semi-synth nerd, you probably won't realize that they're actually DX7 sounds. You'll probably think they're an analog synth or there's something else. So hopefully we can chat about the DX7 a little bit more today, because I'm kind of giving it some love. And why not? Why can't we give it some love? It was an amazing invention by Yamaha, and well, not really Yamaha, but Yamaha put the
yes.
Yamaha didn't invent FM,
but face,
yeah. So like I was reading up on Patrick Leonard today, and if you guys don't know him, he was the guy behind some of Madonna's True Blue album tracks.
Cool.
really, really amazing, accomplished musician as well.
Yeah, that's full of DX7. That album. You're right. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. But it's a good little, like, if you kind of feel like, hey, thanks Steve, by the way, Smithy, for the 20. You can see it popping in down there. Appreciate that, mate. Really appreciate it. Before it scrolls away,
good man.
Just get the full screen on that so we can all see it. Good on you, bud. If you this is actually a cool thing. I actually thought about this today. If you're stuck, and I wasn't stuck, but if you're stuck with sound design, or if you're stuck with track design, or if you're stuck music creating, or something like that, go off on a little sort of semi-break tangent and just research someone. Like someone that is behind something that's epic that you absolutely love, and then you'll find out, I don't know, like,
start at the Wikipedia page for them.
I'll give you one. Okay, I'll give you one to do. Live Aid 1985. Research what the Cars used when they played live versus what they recorded that famous track Drive in the studio. Go research that, because literally that's Pandora's box. That'll just get your synth nerd going crazy. Just something like that, like stuff like that will absolutely get it going. And then what you'll do is you'll start patch surfing, and you'll try and find some patches and sounds, and before you know it, you're back into that creative zone again, and then you go back to start writing your track again. So,
well, if you ever used FM7, that gave you a quick glance, really quickly, how diverse the DX7 was.
Oh yeah.
It's just, holy shit, there's a lot of stuff on that thing. Famous patches, not famous patches, weird sound effects, whatever. And so John Chowning obviously championed it for a reason after he discovered it. So, because it's super powerful.
Oh hell yeah. I mean, one day someone's going to invent a way for basic sound design to happen with FM, for people to understand it a bit better with operators and modulators and things like that. So one day someone will do it. I think lots of people have tried. Someone will crack the code and they'll find a way to make it easy for the average, the average Joe who doesn't really like too much menu diving and too much programming. They'll find
Op6 was easier.
Op6 was great. I thought that the Reface DX was good too.
Yeah, too. Yeah, I love that. For 4-operator, it's really nice.
Yeah. But one of the things I think, we as, like, if you're, we really nerd out on, especially with analog, the Moog style subtractive synthesis, and we nerd out on that stuff. But I feel like if you really want, one of the cool sort of tangents you could do is, like, Buchler's in a way a real big touch on FM as well. You could nerd out on Buchler. You could nerd out on actually creating your own FM synth in Eurorack land, but using analog oscillators. So you could have analog sine wave oscillators, and literally populate. You could get little 3-4 HP analog sine wave oscillators in Modular Grid. You can have a look for them, and you could make yourself a 6-operator. And as long as they're multi-patch, you can use them as modulators as well, carriers and things like that. So good fun. And you need some sort of you'd need some sort of VCA mixer. We're going to talk about AC and DC VCA mixing today too. So that's something that actually I think Chris is probably more up on than I am. So I'll probably pick Chris's brain on that. But it's actually a really good. It's a good topic, because when you've got all the stuff that we're talking about with FM and analog and subtractive synths and stuff like that, VCA and they are your friends. VCAs, they are your absolute cornerstone of everything that you do in music, because something's got to be amplified and it's got to come out to the world somehow, and the VCA is your baby. That's basically what lets it out, what controls it to come out. Yeah. Anyway, so
also don't forget Casio VZ and CZ synths if you want a FM type. It's not FM, but it sounds like FM.
Yeah, and there's also
very nice sounds. Yeah.
I think someone mentioned it in chat. Phase modulation.
Mm-hmm.
PM.
They're great.
PM, yeah.
Well, DX7s are technically PM, aren't they?
Well, it's
really?
phase distortion. So that's why the VZ is called IPD, interactive phase distortion.
Yeah. Anyway, so guys, there's a little taste of what Synth Geekery is about, and I kind of feel like as we're going forward, we've got 5 years behind us now as a show. I kind of feel like now we do have, I think we do have the right to sort of say we know a little bit. We know a little bit. We can talk about some stuff. We've been around. We've got the T-shirt.
Been around. Yes.
Yeah. So,
Speaking of being around, perhaps you should pop up the Zoom link, as few people have requested the Zoom link in the chat.
Thank you for that.
Yes,
Get
it's a good
busy in
sign.
Yeah. Now, hopefully,
They're finally clamoring to get in on Zoom.
hopefully there's no porn people.
Yes,
Usually,
no,
this
hopefully
week.
that particular individual has been blocked.
Yeah. So Zoom link it's the same each week, by the way. It's pinned in chat, but it is this link here on your screen, Ranzee Zoom from bit.ly/Ranzee Zoom. So jump into Zoom. You guys can jump into the show as well. Let's have a quick we'll run through real quick, everyone, if we can do like about a 60-second infomercial on yourselves. Just say hi and everything. We'll start with Daren. Daren, how's your week been? Good to have you, mate.
Hi, week's been fine. Just not done a great. Well, working on the remixes. They're sort of more or less done. They just need filling about before they go back up on Bandcamp. And I think the live rig's completed now. I think it's finished. A few little tweaks, but nothing major. Just some sort of cosmetic and some maybe rearrange of cables. I think might get some shorter ones rather than the length they are. But other than that, touch wood, I think everything's fine. So I'll have to set it all up and then give it a test. And I think that's it on the old live rig.
That's really good news, man. Happy to hear that. Well done for that.
Yeah, it's
nice.
Feels
like
good,
I say, a
doesn't
few
it?
little tweaks.
Feels good.
Yeah, a few workarounds I've got to do on the actual set itself, but that can be done out of the studio. I have to bring everything in the studio to test everything and map everything rather than doing it outside. I don't mean literally outside; I just mean out on the hallway.
Outside the door, yeah. Yep.
So it's sort of, I don't really need it in the studio now. It can all go into the actual live rig and be properly just tested out, and just a quick maybe run through, just see if everything works. So yeah, other than that, I think that's it. And like I say, the remixes are pretty much down and done. I think Rave wants to do a few more little tweaks, but I say little. He wants to do some tweaks. So other than that, yeah, been a reasonably decent week.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, I'm really happy. And when do you think you'll be jumping to the next, or I guess it's Blackpool EMON, wouldn't it? That'd be the next place you'll do it?
No, Blackpool won't be doing it because Jamie's not doing Blackpool now.
Okay.
I've got to work that out, but there's quite a few places. It's just getting to and from whilst working. That's the only issue. Because since I'm not like Andy, I'm up early in the morning. I do need my sleep, unfortunately. With it being a sort of more outside working job, so yeah, I'll just have to work it out. May have to actually take time off on some of the EMOMs to actually get back from them.
Okay, awesome. Righto, moving on to who's next? Andy. How's your week been, mate? Good to have you.
I'm actually not like me either. I'm not a morning person. I just do it for the show. So I'm a night person. I hate mornings, but hey, what are you going to do? So, yeah, it's good to be back on again. Week was interesting. Finally got a new passport sorted. Should get one in a couple weeks, so I can finally leave the U.S. for a while if I feel like it. Did a little live stream in North Beach the other day. Got some nice coffee and showed that it is clean and has no human waste. So not all of San Francisco is bad. And also played with that new Traction Myth VST, which is phenomenal. It has profiles built into it. So, bye Brooksy. It has profiles built in, so you can use Osmos, Seaboard, generic MPE, and it's like once you do that, the patches are night and day different.
Wow!
I was playing with the Seaboard; it was so amazing, just crazy stuff. And some of the stuff that's would take a fair amount of work to make on a modular I was doing in just seconds, right? Because when it's programmed correctly and using proper MPE, it's phenomenal sound stuff. So even if you're not doing music, it's great for sound effects. Check it out. Traction Myth.
Beautiful. Awesome. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. All right. Who's next? That one won't work, but that one will. Chris. Hey,
Hey everyone.
Just before you jump on, Chris, just wanted to let the guys in Zoom know I've got Ian and I've got Brooksy in. I can see the picture of Brooksy, and I can't. Oh, I can see the picture of Ian now, so we're good to go. All right, cool. Go. Continue, Chris. Sorry about that.
No worries. So 60-second version. I finished that thing up there, the case. It's now
Yay.
wired into the power. I did some work on my cable monster listing for the Etsy store. I am still working on the music video for my new track. I did muck about with putting a whole lot of... I came across some surplus electronic components that I've been stacking away in drawers behind me, which is always good fun. And I kind of bought something.
Yeah, Victor. Had a feeling it was Victor.
And it's still in the box.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
Do you want to do an unboxing? Yeah.
If we have time at the end of the night, maybe we can do a boxing.
Sounds good. Awesome.
No worries.
I love the unboxings.
Up to you when you do it.
No, mate, you definitely. Yeah. I think I mentioned to you in Discord that I'm happy for you to do that.
Yeah, no, all good fun.
Awesome. I bet you're excited to unbox that anyway. Yeah. Hurry up, Ranz. Get on with your show so I can unbox it.
No, I'm fine with delayed gratification.
I need to work out how to get the Zoom callers into that bottom left-hand corner. But for now, what I'll do is I'll go across quickly because Brooksy was first in. How are you, Brooksy? Good to see you, mate.
Hi guys, it's been a while. Can you hear this actually?
We can.
Is it coming through okay and loud enough?
It's coming through beautiful.
Oh, excellent. Right, I've been having trouble with the USB with the something's been going on. It hasn't been working. So, right, well that's a relief because all I did was switch it on. It took me a while to get the Zoom thing going. It didn't want to recognize me, but there we are. It's been years since I've used it though.
That's plug and pray.
Yeah, it's quirky.
Yeah,
Zoom. It's quirky.
We used to use it. I was on Zoom remember during lockdowns, Zoom was the thing we used every bleeding day. And then we went over to Teams with work, and Teams was so much better. It was great. But yeah, so I've not actually plugged into Zoom for ages and ages. So it's a bit of a novelty. So yeah, I found that I've been very efficient today and got everything done this morning that I wanted to do. So I'll jump in if they'll have me.
Yay!
Lovely to see you.
Of course we'll have you. I bet you there's a million things that you've got to tell us too. You haven't been on the show for ages.
Well, we've been like busy. I mean, we've Grace and I have been doing quite a lot of certainly leading up to Christmas and after Christmas, we did a lot of gigging, some quite big gigs, some longer EMOM sets. We did a 45-minute set in Sheffield. We did a 40-minute set or something in Blackpool, and same at Todmorden with Dave Walker, and then we had the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day gig, and we did a lot of that, and we've been doing quite a lot of sort of recording as well. So yeah, there's been a lot of that. We were very, very touched to be asked to play at the Sonic State EMOM in Bath, and that was like a major sort of feather in your cap. Where that was a real sort of it's going to be a blooming slog, but we're going to do this. So Friday night after work, whenever it was was it 4 weeks ago, drove from work. Grace drove to where I work in her car. We transferred all the gear into my car because my car's probably a bit more reliable for a long journey. We then drove from near Nottingham down to Bath. Did the EMOM, and then drove back again. It was mad. But we had an absolute great night, and the Sonic State guys were brilliant, absolutely fantastic. It was a cracking night. All the audience were fantastic. The other performers were great. Got to meet some really interesting folk. Met Ben from Elevator Sounds. That was really cool. And Technomadic, who's sometimes in the chat, he's also been doing some demonstrations for Sonic State as well. They were great, and it was just a proper good event. And really, really delighted to have done that.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Nice.
Happy to hear. Fantastic.
And
And
good one, Andy.
Ian is here as well. He's come in via Zoom because I think he's. Where are you, Ian? You're somewhere else. In
Can you
your
hear
new
me all
house.
right?
Yeah, we
Can
can.
you hear me, Mother?
Welcome to my new studio.
Yay!
It starts off clean, never stays that way.
It's the
exactly.
minimalist.
It's certainly actually, if I turn the camera, you'll probably. Oh, wait, which way to? I'm coming on my phone, so
Yeah, it's very
I can't
choppy.
get it to move. Yeah. I'll leave it alone. Moved in on Thursday. We have
cool.
no furniture.
So you're in
no
Froome now,
Wi-Fi.
Ian? Yeah.
I'm in Froome, yes, in the house, in the studio. We've got 2 camping chairs and a bloke bed. A fridge that we bought from a fridge that we bought on an auction, and it's just it's camping really. I'm camping.
You're camping in your new house.
It's gonna be like this for about 3 weeks. So they can't get our stuff to us or Wi-Fi for 3 weeks. So
Wow.
I'm going to try and find somewhere else for next week, and maybe I can find a nice cafe that will let me use their Wi-Fi. But yeah, so far so good. The house hasn't fallen down. The heating works. The water works. We've got no black bin, but apart from that, we can live with it.
Wow. That's fantastic, mate. Okay, what I'm going to try and do...
That's good news, though, Ian.
I'm going to see if
thanks, Andy. It's good to see you, Andy.
I'm going to see if I can
Cheers,
try
Ian.
and
And you
get...
too.
I'm going to see if I can try and get everyone into here.
He's doing the full Brady Bunch mode. Brady Bunch mode.
We've got Chatty somewhere. Where are the Chatties? Chatties can go. Oh, Chatties is massive. I don't know what's going to happen with Chatties. We might leave Chatties. for
Super
a sec.
chatties.
Yeah. We've got Zoom call there for Brooksy. We've got Zoom call there for Ian. Maybe we can put the Chatties down the bottom.
Ooh,
Yeah, that works. I mean, it's hard to see, but that works, doesn't it? Are you guys happy with that?
I can see
Yeah.
quite.
Yeah,
As long as
yeah.
you're not on your phone, you're fine.
I like it.
That way everyone's in instead of cutting
Kinda
someone
like
off
that.
anyway. It's just
Very
a temporary
clean.
arrangement, but we have room for 2 more if you want. If someone wants to jump into Zoom, and it completely handles. We can actually have 100 callers in Zoom if we want, as I mentioned before, and it doesn't tax my connection at all. That's the good thing about it. So, right, let's get cracking.
Ranzee, have you filled that new case? It looks fabulous, by the way.
Yeah, it's just the same stuff that I've had before, and because I had the 2 rack brutes and I had the Behringer Go, and there's probably the nifty case and the nifty keys, and I've still got the nifty case and the nifty keys, but with the 2
And a
rack
drawer
brutes
full of modules, right?
and a drawer full of modules. I knew
Well,
that these
I've got there now.
I knew this would be full. But I didn't want to make a 3rd case and be completely gluttonous about this whole thing. So I've just said 2 is it, and then basically bad luck if you want to expand, because it's just crazy.
Just one.
It's becoming stupid.
1 in, 1 out from this point on. It is. I'm the same. It's sort of, that's sort of what I call my live case, and it's all in there. And then there's the Go case over there that's got basically the System 100 in, and the D and the 960 sequencer, and up in the top left that's the Tesseract mixer system, which I took out because I've got the blue box mixer now, which is just amazing. It's fantastic, that thing.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? The blue box.
Blimmin' expensive, but
Blimmin' ex.
but hey, Hey, it does.
Yeah,
it
I'm
does a
using
grand
the
job.
blue
So
box
yeah.
only.
Have you got the little one, the standalone one?
I've got the standalone one. That's what's in
Yeah,
my
do
big
you
5
know,
big now.
I'm actually thinking of getting one of those as well. Does somebody stop me? Somebody stop me.
Stop it.
Well, don't you come to the wrong place if you want us to stop you buying things.
True, Chris. True.
Yeah.
Let me get the ruler out and I'll smack him. Right. Okay. So let's hit
Where
this
is it?
button.
Where, no.
We got to get it stuck in, boys. Come on. All right. Funny side and Ian's missing down the bottom. Sorry, Ian. Passive monitors.
I'm
Fine.
looking forward to the pat. I want to see the
Go on,
passive
that's funny,
aggressive ones
Ranzee.
next.
Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it is.
Apathetic monitors. Yeah.
There you go. Ian's back. Yay.
Yay.
Okay. So what else we got? We have. They're justified and they're ancient, and they drive a
and
transit
they drive
van.
an ice cream van.
Took it from the top.
Took from the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of Tammy Wynette.
I don't like. Can you imagine the radio in that? In that van, it'd be blaring out. KLF's gonna rock you. Free DJ advice. Whoa, this one is a bit.
I think that's the winner right there.
That is nasty stuff. Just a disclaimer: I didn't make these memes this week.
Yeah, that's Grimes, right? About her live set.
And then there's this guy playing this weird. I don't know what you call it.
A multi.
Quinkalele.
It's a
it's Michelangelo Baccio with a banjo.
Yeah.
So 5 is what?
Quinjo. Anyway, what
What's
it reminded
that
me
for
of
five?
is back in about Daren will remember this. Back in the first year of our show, we did the Volcagon.
Oh yes.
But while we're at it, we had the Volca stack and we had the Volca cluster, and then we just had too many Volcas. But yeah, I think that
By the
is
way, it's
it.
perfect. That Volca thing makes a perfect hole in the middle too. So there you go.
Classic 5. They look great there, though, don't they? Let's be honest.
There's more Volcas than that now, because at the time I did that, I
Yeah, I
think
know.
the Volca
Yeah.
Kick was the latest. At the
There's
time
the
I did that.
modular. Isn't in there yet.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
I have
modular
all. There's like 9 of them or something. So
Have we got how many memes do we have this week? Do we have 5 or we have 4? Let's have a quick look.
4.
Here.
Guitar 5 thing.
1, 2, 3. It's 5. We'll leave the Volca out. Okay, what we'll do is we'll leave the Volca out because that's a second suck of the sav.
Suck of the sav.
So passive monitors, KLF, DJ advice, or the guy playing the weird, I don't know, banjo ukulele thing. Let us know in chat which one it is.
Passive monitors, and then the DJ advice for me.
DJ advice was brutal. Brutal it was.
But sometimes you need to
but
hear that.
accurate.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do, don't you? You need like
Yeah. Yeah, you need to have.
You can't handle the truth.
yeah.
Well, you need to have a little bit of what you call hardness, I guess, to be able to survive in that industry. So you need.
A lot of people are saying DJ advice in the chat. DJ Homer Simpson gets it.
It's perfect. It's Homer Simpson too.
Yeah.
That's even better. So.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Homer Simpson or the KLF.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about there, Kent. Okay. Might have to share that with me privately. That one.
I think that was the guitar. Maybe it's wood.
There's something in Kent's coffee today. So
And it isn't just solder flux.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's good. So Homer gets it this week, and we move on to news.
Right.
Hooray! Here we go. Okay, so, and typical me, I don't have any videos lined up ready, do I? Because I forgot. Here we have the rainy day hailstorm. Have you guys seen this thing?
No.
No.
No is
Briefly?
the answer.
Briefly.
Good. Let me
Yeah.
just get it.
Habe ich gesehen. Yes, I have. Sorry. I'm typing in German. I just.
I've just got to log into YouTube because if I don't, I'll
You'll
get
get
ads.
ads.
Yeah, we'll log in as me. Hang on a sec, guys. Right, here we go. Okay, cool. Let's go straight to the vid, and we'll have a little look at this. This. Oh, hang on. No, we can't do that. We can't do that because guess what else I forgot to do? I forgot to start OBS Studio. Now I've started OBS Studio. And hooray! Here we go.
How many years, Ranzee? How many years?
Too many. Believe it, it's actually a Raspberry Pi underneath this.
Cool.
We're not going to watch 13 minutes, but I'll just give you guys a little bit of a watch. I reckon there's one person on this show that would be going, licking my lips right now.
This is very cool. Yeah.
If anyone says park bench, I'll punch them.
And you get two of
Why
them!
would you punch them?
That was a pretty good demo, I have to say. But let me tell you a little bit about it. It is, if you're wondering, it is actually a sample / groove box. It is a sample. It's a four voice drum synthesizer as well, and a sample player. So you can actually load your own samples on it, and you've got all this kind of matrix groove controls you saw at your fingertip. There's 4 tracks. There's an internal drum synth, as I mentioned, and you can play the internal drum synth and the sample simultaneously. You can blend between them, and there's a mix knob. I'll just go back to here so you can actually see it. There's a mix knob. There's also some interesting kind of effects that you can do with this, like for example beat repeat, global pitch, there's a cutoff filter, there's a granular delay, there's independently chainable sequences and sample bank changes, and there's also an automation recordable on all the parameters including the effects, and there's also a per voice shuffle. So guys, that is the Rainy Day Hailstorm. It's called the Hailstorm. It's $495, and you can get it right now.
US or Euro?
US.
US. Yeah.
Who wants to talk about it?
It's like they mixed in some time tosser features too. Pretty wild.
Let's start with Andy, because I honestly thought, Andy, this was aimed at probably between you and Daren.
Yeah, I like
would
weird
probably
stuff,
be the two.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like mobile stuff. I like weird stuff. So this definitely would be fun. I mean, there's such thing as getting too glitchy and too, kind of gimmicky with some of the stuff.
Too clever.
Like live FX Twin kind of stuff, but like really
Also
annoying.
too developy too. Sometimes they're not finished, right?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could really annoy the shit out of people with this if you don't
Make
use
a decision.
Right.
Bounce the stem.
but,
Do something.
Yeah, but I think it's cool to have this kind of ability to tweak stuff with hardware, not always have to use an iPad or something like that. So it's pretty cool.
Cool.
A little
Awesome.
pricey, but I mean,
Yeah,
it is a Pi. I guess how much are Pies now? Have they gone up?
They're only what, 40 US, aren't they? Pies.
Really? Okay, so
much.
they're still cheap. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little high, but other than
What about
that,
you,
it's pretty
Daren?
fun.
What did you think?
Yeah, I'm a bit with Andy actually. I'm sort of like on the fence with this because I thought, might go in my case because I've still got room for some smaller gear.
Do you
But like,
need
then,
it,
then
Daren?
Andy
Do you
mentioned
need
it, and
it?
it's like, well, you see, I've got the iPad, and it's like,
That's the thing.
oh, really? But I do like the part bench compatibility, Andy. You can't
Hey.
That's right.
punch me
Yeah.
on this side.
PBC.
Yes, BBC.
Push me, I'm over this side. I've got a car, Daren.
Oh,
Card carrying PVC
I've got
member.
rave.
It's a Kia, isn't it, Andy? Your little Kia.
It's still a Kia. Yeah, my little Kia. And it goes. And it'll go over a
Yeah.
hill.
Well,
Slowly, but it'll
I've
go
got a
over it.
purple one that's
At least it doesn't overheat like an old, you know, Austin
it's-
gas
yeah,
guzzler.
I'm with Andy. I sort of quite like it. It's like a tiny bit pricey, but I don't know. The one I'd be looking into anyway. I'd be sort of considering it. Like I say, I've got the iPad, but then again, I've got two versions of my live rig, so I could like drop the iPad section out and have this in. So maybe, yeah, I'll have to look into this now. I've not seen it before till now, so yeah, interesting.
I kind of feel like it's one of those conformist things, Daren. Again, like, you know, you're used to this with the Akai Force and some of the other stuff you've got, and with this, there's only 8 megabytes of memory, and
Yeah, this is it.
so it'll be one of those
It's
conformist.
drum hits, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that'll be tiny little snapshot samples and stuff. So that is completely fine.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to comment on it before we move on to the next?
I think it sounds all right, but I think I'm completely underwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have to be honest. I mean, I like small boxes. I like all this sort of weird stuff, but nah, it doesn't do it for me at all.
I
It's
kind of,
interesting to
Ian, I had a feeling you'd say that, which is why I didn't include you in that little group, and I didn't want to leave you out. Not only because
No.
I kind of feel like if
get off
this
the
was
PVC.
more of a melodic box and it was more sound design and generative, I think Ian would have been on top of it. But because this is kind of more just a sample player groove box, it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that sort of sound design element to it. I think that's kind of where you're stepping out on it,
Not
right?
very deep.
Exactly. I could do it with my iPad. I could do it with an OP1. A lot of the stuff I could do with an OP1.
It is cute though.
You
It
know.
is very
Yeah.
cute.
It is cute.
It looks pretty.
I think the thing that sold it for me, it's got lights. It's lights, isn't it? That's the thing. Because like Ian said,
it is.
I've got my
Because it's very dark in your house.
I've got my
isn't it, Daren?
iPad, which I can probably do. all
Yes,
as well.
as he constantly
Bright,
reminds
bright.
us.
I've paid the 50.
It's
Do you remember
probably LEDs that
the
don't
old
heat you
days,
up.
Daren, when you used to have to put pence in the meter to keep the electricity going?
Stop doing that.
Hey, Ranzee, have you ever seen a Delayedalist before?
Uh,
It's made by that guy Daedalus, who used to do the mono
yes.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So this is like a much fancier version of a Delayedalist. That was Arduino.
Yeah,
based, but
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I like that.
I finally picked one up. They're really rare now, but I got a Delayedalist. They're okay. They use alligator clips. They're kind of weird, but
Yeah, I think you've actually shown it on the show. I'm pretty sure
might
you've shown
have,
it. Yeah.
samples and effects. and
One
stuff.
day when I find time, I'll go through the 400 million hours of my show and I'll slice up all of this that Andy's shown.
It's a great project.
Yes.
If I'm bored.
I got this. I got this.
And I'll have Lego Velt saying synthesizer on every single frame. Right.
good.
Bye-bye, Rainy Day Hailstorm. We love you. It's awesome. Bring your price down a little bit for the Australians because our exchange rate sucks. Sorry about the black square down there. It's Ian's fault. Blame him. Right. Next is this
my
one.
fault. Yeah.
This is the Ranzee Synth Daisy. Very handsy. I don't know if that's the sort of word I want to have for the name of my synth. But anyway, it's a French company, and nothing about. I'm not going to say anything about it because I actually think this is pretty cool. This is based on the Daisy Seed embedded platform, which is an ARM Cortex
DSP
M7
platform.
MCU. It has 64 megabytes of SDRAM, and what you're looking at here is a desktop synth with, I think it's 8 voices polyphony with 3 oscillators per voice, but there's actually really only kind of really 2 oscillators and 1 sub oscillator. So it's kind of really more like a 2 oscillator synth with a sub.
Roland style.
There's a stack of controls on this though. I like that. There's your standard controls for filter and envelope generator. There's actually 2 envelope generators. Let me actually go to my notes. I'm actually saying this all off the top of my head. Okay, so the virtual analog engine is based on a Daisy C, which I said. It's an embedded platform. It's powered, I said that, 480 megahertz. For those playing along at home wants to know how big and powerful the M7 MCU is. What else did I say? The oscillators have anti-aliasing. You can load a single cycle waveform in there as well, which provides more options. Plus it supports samples and multi-samples in PCM format, user cycle and more. So this is kind of more interesting in that regard for me. That's why I kind of thought, hey, that's pretty cool. So I just don't really know how we load them in. That's kind of that will be the big caveat here. It's a 20. Everything's digital. Everything's everything in detail. Everything's digital. The Moog style 24 dB ladder filter. It's digital, of course, with cutoff and resonant controls. There are also 3 LFOs which actually have sync and loop and delay. And there are 3 ADSRs. So you have a ADSR for filter, VCA, and also modulation duties as well. And they're looping, which is cool. The module's got a whole bunch of controls, as you can see, with knobs and buttons and all sorts of stuff. And that's actually really refreshing because some sort of VA synths want you to sort of use the screen more. I like the fact that it's hands-on on this. 2.4-inch display, Darren, might be a little small for you. There is a headphone jack on the front, which is nice to see. And all the other connections are on the back with your DIN, MIDI 5-pin DIN, 1/4 inch stereo output, SD card slot, which I believe has the firmware on it, as well as that's probably might be how you're going to get your samples in there.
Is it Eurorack format? Because it looks like it.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? I actually don't know.
Those are Nurleys, isn't there? They look like Nurleys anyway.
They look like Nurleys, don't they? Yeah.
They're slotted holes, not normal holes, which is very Eurorack.
There is a little video teaser. I can show that. This doesn't have your answer, sorry, Andy, but we'll play that.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so no price.
Wagoo's just noted that in that video they had the Behringer power supply in next to it, so it looks like it definitely is Eurorack compatible. Or at least certainly you'll fit it into a Eurorack case. So
cool.
Let me open the website and see if it says anything on there, while you guys have a chat about it.
I thought the demo sounded great. I thought it sounded really cool.
So, just sounded.
How much?
It sounded like what you expect though, without effects. Apart from that, there's definitely some nice panning going on with the voices and everything that you'd kind of want. Yeah, it is cool when synths have a.
It's going to come down to price again, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good question.
How much is it going to be?
Yeah, there's no price yet.
How much?
I'm looking at their website. There's absolutely no information on their website. I'll share it with you guys. It's just pictures. Yeah. Don't know why people do that sort of stuff, but anyway. Maybe it's because they just haven't got to the point yet where this thing is.
Yeah.
That's not the website.
It's interesting though.
Oh,
go back to there. That's the one we want. what website do I want? I want the one above. Hey.
So many channels.
There we go. So this is their website, and it's literally just a cartoon. These graphics you can't even click on, and there's the YouTube videos.
But they wobble when you go over them, giving you the impression you would.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah.
Wobble, wobble, wobble.
Touchy. No, you cannot touchy.
Anyway, so it's light on the information, but there's, I mean, just picking it apart, there's a fair bit that we can deduce from what we've seen. I feel like VAs are going to get stronger and stronger and stronger as we go, ahead into the future, because, the whole anti-aliasing part of the digital algorithms now is actually starting to become quite a good thing, because that used to be the big thing that people used to say, look, if I put the oscillator up really, really high, look at the aliasing, or if I put it around really, really low.
Filter and issues.
So they've got the anti-aliasing algorithm.
Character though too. So.
Well, yeah. You could probably turn it off, I guess, if they programmed it properly, right? Yeah. That'd be good.
100%,
yeah. I kind of feel like I'd like to see. I mean, this is just me, but if it's only 8 voices, right, which is not a massive amount of voices for a digital synth, and that's probably that platform that they're using, the M7, right? That's probably why they've only got 8 voices on this. Therefore, there'd probably be a fair bit of room in that box underneath. I would like to see analog filters with those 8 voices, because then you're making a hybrid, and I think that's going to create that product to be a little bit more unique. But have your digital filter there as well as an option, but then you can say, hey, here's analog filters, and there's a digital filter.
You're almost doubling your market by putting something analog on it. That's what I found.
Yeah. Anyway.
Whether it needs it or not.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's like
no.
You buy a car, and how many features in your car don't you use? There's literally some people don't even know there's features in their car.
Yeah, I don't need 18 cup holders, I admit.
Yeah. I've got a button in my car, and I don't know what it does. It's been there. I've had the car for 4 years.
It's the eject button, mate. Don't press it.
Have you ever pressed it? Don't press it.
Okay, next is a bit of information from Modular, Moon Modular. In fact, this is the Moog 509 modeled VCF. Now, I kind of thought to myself, there's so many of these modules out there. Why do I need to talk about it?
Well, Moon's usually 5U, isn't it?
Yeah, so the Moon Modular stuff
that looks like a 500 series.
Is the 500 series stuff, right? And that's one of the reasons why I want to show it. But on top of that is actually some of the cool features that I actually liked hearing about this. And I kind of thought to myself, I'd actually like to see this sort of stuff, or more of these sort of things. So the 509 is a VCF. It's a low-pass filter with a bandpass option. But it's inspired by the Formanta Radio Factory Polyvox synthesizer, and so it's a Moog filter, but it's inspired by the Polyvox, right? And it features a switchable bandpass to low pass option with voltage controls for the cutoff. There's also an enhancement of the original. They call it regen on this, but it's we know it as resonance, right?
Yeah.
And there's the filter slope has a 12 dB per octave in bandpass mode. It has a 6 dB per octave. So I like seeing some of these slightly different, mixtures of circuitry designs,
configurations, different configurations.
And I would, I'm sure someone in Eurorack's done that, but. I do want to start showing some of the other modular options, like the 20 centimeter options, the 5U
big stuff.
Because it's not just
large box.
Yeah, exactly. You guys have got it.
Yeah, Junkie XL had a ton of Moon Modular stuff that he sold a couple of years ago. So big 5U stuff.
Now, if you are interested in Moon Modular, they also do have this next one, which is a low pass gate. You probably didn't notice that. I'll just go back really quick.
Ooh,
The text changed at the
now
top.
that's smart.
Slick.
That's smart
Slick, Ranzee.
manufacturing. Right? That's smart manufacturing right there.
Yeah, absolutely is.
The M518 is a low pass gate. It is based on the Buchla low pass gate, so West Coast sort of style. I'm pretty sure that means it's got the cadmium in it, right? So yeah,
Vectorals, some
the
kind. Yes.
vectorals of some sort. Yeah. So
Not necessarily though.
not necessarily cabbage.
No, not
No,
anymore.
there's a whole load of low pass gates which don't use
The
Vactrol.
new ones that don't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those ones that Make Noise made recently, they
Yeah.
they are
DXG.
awesome. Yeah, the DXG. I want to get my hands on some of those.
It's on the shopping list.
Yeah, I know. I don't think you can get them
so
yet, though.
mine.
I don't think you can get them yet.
They're out of stock. They've sold out worldwide.
yeah.
They've gone. They're getting the whole next batch coming
Yep.
through. Both Grace and I want to get these in our racks, and it's honestly I've become fascinated by low pass gates. You know, since getting the XPO oscillator with its myriad of outputs. You know, it's not just out into a filter. You've got all these different other things you can do. So
Yep.
I bought the depth for low pass gate, so I can take one of them out and stick it through that. Wow, and then trigger it differently.
Isn't it a beautiful thing? Yeah.
Oh my god, it's great. So I've been really turned on to low pass
This is
gates.
why
I'd never
Buchla
even
stuff
thought
is
of the-
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, Andy. Seriously.
Yeah.
There's the tip top one with 4 of them in it. Yeah. Oh,
Andy,
don't get me started on low pass gates.
do not load up on the 2HP website where they've got the low pass gate on there as well, because it's only 2HP.
Oh, brilliant. Actually, the 2HP do it.
2HP do a low pass gate.
Yeah, they do one.
Yeah,
Is it a
it's
single or a dual?
amazing. It's amazing.
I got a dual low pass gate, the Cobb dual low pass gate. It was really cheap,
Oh yeah.
and two of them. Yeah.
Chris has got a great idea for 2HP modules too. If you're running out of busboard connections, so
Oh yes,
hit him up for his idea.
you don't have to hit me up. It's right here.
Oh, look at that! He's done it already.
Here's one I
Good man.
prepared earlier.
So if you've got one busboard connection and lots of modules,
One of those, and you put 2 of them together. Now you don't even have to do it that way. The other way you can do it is actually on one cable and just have 2 crimps next
Yeah.
to each other like that.
and that just
Actually
comes
on
down.
the same cable.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep,
of course you
Some,
can.
yeah, but some
Makes
people don't
absolute
like
sense.
the. Yeah, you can see
It's a
how
great
I've
system,
actually.
isn't it?
What a great idea. Sold to the man in the Hardware Jams t-shirt.
Well, you-
I had to buy actual flying bus cables because I didn't have enough jacks on my my replacement IntelliGel power supply, so I had to have a whole bunch of flying bus board cables coming off that thing.
Do they actually have wings? You're flying busboard? No. Okay.
Well, the case is pretty light,
Wah,
so
wah,
it's
wah,
10 mil.
wah.
All right. Let's move on to
Robbie,
the
where's
next.
your button?
This was next. We got another sneak
yes.
peek of the Muse. We know it's called a Muse now. Are you amused?
Oh, cool.
I'm amused. This is
Cool band, too.
There's an Instagram video. Do you guys want to check out the Instagram video? It's Mike Dean, by the way.
yes,
Do you guys
that's-
know Mike Dean?
Possibly. I'm not good with names though,
Okay, let's
especially synth people.
That's not it. There we go. How do I make that bigger?
Oh, this guy, yeah, that might.
Yeah.
He's enjoying this, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Is it me, or does that synth have a bit of Akai? Or am I just imagining it? Did you
Well,
guys?
yeah.
Did you?
It looked more Roland to me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It didn't look Moog.
Yeah,
It didn't
yeah,
look Moogy, did it?
It looked, yes, it very much looked like it looked like Moog from an alternate reality
Yeah. Yep.
where they embraced digital much earlier.
Look, there's definitely if you look at that, go look at the Instagram video. It's the real Mike Dean, by the way, on Instagram if you want to find it.
He's not short of synths.
When you look at the left-hand side of the synth where all the knobs are, it looks very, very much like a sub 37. But the right-hand side, where all the digital pads and silicon backlit,
It looks really packed. Full
that
of
looks really sort of
stuff.
Akai / like you said, Brooksy, like Rolandy almost, even sort of Yamaha. There's a section in the middle which looks like a CS80. It's kind of a bit of a mixer, that one.
But this will have been in production or in design way before
Before they took over, yeah.
So this is all Moog still. It'll be ridiculously expensive,
As they always are.
as all Moogs are. I've always said, granted, I'm not the world's biggest Moog fan, although I would like a proper Model D instead of the Behringer one. Moogs have always been overpriced. I've always felt that.
Yeah.
For what you get for your money.
You get lucky once. I got a Slim Fatty for like $300 many years ago. So
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
If you can get something
Yeah, you get
used
what you can.
cheap, you're kind of like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
running out the front door of the bloke's place and saying, "Start
right.
the car!"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it's a 10-finger discount. Just carry it out.
I mean, I like this. I did a whole album with the Arturian Model D, so I like the Moog sound or Moog Model D sound. But and I'm not so sure that the way that marketing this is necessarily the right way to go about teasing and teasing.
Yeah, dribble marketing. Yeah.
I mean,
trickle marketing.
I'll be honest with you, that just annoys me.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just annoying.
It's the Behringer style
Yes,
of
exactly.
marketing.
It is, yeah.
Except that you wouldn't see it for 4 years.
That is true.
Well, maybe we
might not see
won't.
this.
We don't know yet.
We might see. Yeah, we might see this for 4 years. Although they're going to be at Super Booth with it, or was that a?
Super Booth's in May. I heard that they might have one there, but I can't get anyone to sort of tell me for sure or not.
No.
But one thing I'll say is that I heard someone say that they've spoken to some people that have got these in beta, and that they feel this is better designed sonically than what the Moog 1 was, which kind of annoys me, because do you remember Moog saying, so much about the Moog 1 being like this massive, huge, 30, 40 years of development, blah, 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 and they really sung the praises of it. And the problem with it is that, it's basically a rich man's synth. And
It's also unfinished.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they had
exactly.
problems with oscillators, tuning, and
that's-
all sorts of stuff.
That's just spin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Moog and polysynth is not necessarily the best
No.
combination.
Best bedfellow.
It never has been. But when
always
it's,
been their Achilles heel.
I'm sort of
Memory
secretly
mode.
hoping, fingers
Memory mode was
crossed.
great,
Well,
Yeah. When it works,
I,
yeah. Just ask Kent.
when I-
So
yeah.
When
yeah.
you turn it on, cross your fingers, Brooksy.
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
though. He's in a cold room.
Yeah.
I remember going. I've probably said this story before, but I went to see the Polymoog when it first came out, and it was laughably badly designed, and it was terrible to play. And I think it broke down halfway through the demonstration, if I'm not mistaken. That was a major show in London back in
I've
late
seen
70s, early 80s.
I've seen a few concerts where the Moogs, the
Yeah.
Polymoogs of memory Moogs, Polymoogs, and even
Yeah,
Moog
yeah.
ones. Actually, more recently, I've
Yeah.
seen a Moog 1 shit itself in a concert.
Really? That's pretty. Wow.
Yeah. It's not on YouTube. I want to get a copy of that, but I saw it.
I
Right.
want to see that.
I want to go on to the next. Look, we'll keep showing the trickle.
Is
the
there
triple.
any indication of price on the Muse? Has anything been dribbled?
Nah,
Excuse my expression.
no, there's nothing. All of there is just people with guesstimates. And
Yeah.
but I think the most educated guess is that it's going to be cheaper than the Moog 1. That's about all we can sort of say. But I mean, the Moog 1's a pretty pricey synth. So
They've got to keep that as a flagship,
especially the
haven't they?
16 voice. Yeah.
It won't be in the Behringer price range. Let's put it that way.
No.
That's a definite.
and you got to think to yourself, like, I've had my Model D. It was the Neutron first or the Model D first? I forget which one I got first, but I've had
The
them
Model
for
D came first.
I had
You mean
them
the
for
Behringer one?
Yeah, the Behringer one. I've had it for a long time now. It's probably easily 5 years now.
Mm.
And when you think about it, everyone was talking about it. Oh, it should only last you 12 months, a year, 2 years, and just buy another one because they're so cheap. Well,
Yeah.
it's actually
Yeah,
fine.
mine's the same.
Yeah.
Still going absolutely fine. Same with the Pro one.
Yeah, I think the build quality of that is, as a Behringer one, is great.
Yeah. It's a bit like my
cable.
Behringer mixer that I've had since the 1990s. My Eurorack. It's
Well,
called.
look at you, because mine didn't last.
Yeah.
My Behringer mixers didn't
Mixed.
last at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some
I've had-
people have had.
I've
bad
had to
experience.
spray it a few times with deoxit, but it's
Yeah, it's
completely
a small
fine.
Behringer mix.
I've got a couple of it. They're still working. I've had them a long time.
Now,
I
I'll
don't
tell
give them
you,
lots of use though.
what, guys. I need to give this company my credit card, and they can just keep it on file because every time they bloody bring something
Like all
out-
the other companies that I've
Not-
got
not
my
that
credit card
company.
details.
this company, AMC.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yes.
Seriously,
Yeah.
these guys are like complete geniuses. I'm telling you. Anyway,
They're
Just one guy.
determined.
so this it's just one guy.
Dedicated, I would
This
say.
video came out last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever. Where he talks about. I'll go across to the video. He talks about.
It's a good
the-
video. It's worth
the-
watching the whole thing
So he talks about the loss.
with a cup of tea.
I'm not going to play it. He talks about the 2500 series modular, right? And as you know, Behringer did the Eurorack with this guy's help. But there were a whole bunch of modules that they had put in one of their catalogs that they were going to make, and some of these modules, never got actually made because these are the ones that they had planned. So there's quite a lot, as you can see. And so what this guy's doing is he's actually slowly releasing these modules.
Or building them and releasing them.
Yeah, so we'll do the two of them. There's the 1035, which is a triple modulator. So we'll watch this, I guess.
This is very useful as a set of 3 dual input mixers, but also as a way of previewing the signal levels before they are modulated. The 1042 module is
I think I missed out the start
Yeah,
of
is
that.
that the bit that does ring modulation?
Here we go.
the Synths AM1035 replica, emits the preamps and delivers 3 balanced modulators. Each input can be either DC or AC coupled. The modulators can be used as VCAs. An additional feature carried over from the prototype is a slide switch that selects whether the audio signals are modulated or mixed. This is
That's
very
right.
useful as a set of 3 dual input mixers, but also as a way of previewing the signal levels before they are modulated.
Yeah.
So that's the first one, and then we have this one, which is the 3 VCAs.
Each with 2 audio inputs and a CV input. I've also replicated the additional features of the 2600 VCA, where there are separate inputs for DC or AC coupled signals.
Now that particular VCA has got me excited because you got the ability to either have DC or AC, and on top of that you've got the
Linear exponential.
the linear and exponential, and also the it's the diode type of VCA circuit. So it'll have a different sonic response to what you may hear with like chip based VCAs.
Diode transistor VCAs, I think they're called.
Yeah. Which is, I think it's called a 4014.
It's a discrete VCA rather than OTA based VCA.
Exactly.
They're kind of the two camps.
And as a result, that means that depending on the signal going in, the signal going out, it's going to make your sound slightly different.
Yeah.
You may find it do things differently to what you're used to with other types of VCAs. And I said at the start of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about VCAs. So this particular module here is probably the one that I'm interested in more out of the two. I do want the other one as well. I mean, I just want the guy to take my credit card and he can just, every time he makes a module, he can just send it to me. Serious, I'm not joking.
It would certainly save the hassle of them running out before you get a chance to buy them.
They're amazing.
You got to catch them all, right? So
they are amazing. These guys, they are seriously amazing. Sorry, I just keep forgetting to bring someone into the bottom there, which is Ian. There you go.
There you go.
Ian, and he's like jerky video, max headroom style.
Yeah.
Now these are eurorack modules, by the way. If you're wondering, these aren't the 5 users, the 3 use. So they will go with. So anyone watching this show is scratching their head and thinking, what possible use is this to me? Well, if you've got eurorack, if you've got all of those modules across the top there, which are a mixture of Behringer and AM synth modules, which is from a recreation of the ARP 2500. That's what this particular one will help you with. But it doesn't have to be those. You don't have to get it to go with an ARP 2500. VCA can be used in any duty in your setup. You can have an external synth going into that VCA, and you can have that VCA modulated by something in your eurorack system, like you could have a modulated sequencer, for example.
You could
like
have
the voltage block.
Yeah, you could have an entire stem from one of your mixers and run it through a VCA doing some, running from a hi-hat pattern or something and getting your sonic territory you hadn't thought of. Experimenting.
Yeah. So
I like VCAs.
I do. Chris, tell us so just from your point of view, the benefit of AC versus DC, or AC, having AC and DC in a VCA, so that people understand.
Yeah, basically the way an analog circuit is optimized is to work either in the DC realm or the AC realm. So there's kind of a compromise. If you have something, you have to tune it one way or the other. And normally they have to choose one, and that's what you get. And if you try to put DC into an AC, optimized circuit, it just doesn't work properly. So having a switch is sort of a different approach, rather than choosing, saying no, this is the way it's designed to be used this way. You basically say it could do either way. We just changed the circuit configuration with this switch here, which is unusual in the eurorack world anyway. Usually, usually a different module. You have to buy a different module if you want a different kind of coupling.
What would you put in? I know the answer to this, but I'm just saying this question for everyone watching. What would you put in an AC input versus a DC input? What type of signal would you put in?
Well, an AC signal would generally be an audio signal, so actual stuff you actually hear above the 20 hertz frequency, and DC is really what you use for control voltages. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
So modulation is DC. So basically modulation mode or audio mode, which, the two worlds are actually separate, of course, as we know. That's modular heads. So,
done well. Yeah,
that's it. It's pretty simple.
Pretty simple. So the real benefit, this is kind of where I'm getting at, is...
But it's just terminology.
You guys know that I like to record DC, basically. So I record modulation in my DAW. I've got DC coupled audio interfaces. If you've got a VCA that's got the DC, it's specifically designed for DC inputs, you get a cleaner recording, you get a cleaner signal. You get a it's better in that sense. So that's the purpose of it. And also the mixing is also more beneficial. You're not mixing modulation through a VCA that's AC and then going through a DC coupled interface. Does that make sense?
Kinda, yeah. It's one thing to note there is that what I just said about analog circuits doesn't hold for digital interfaces. So what Rance is talking about is he's using DC coupled digital input and digital output, which is basically digital. So we're not talking
DAC.
about analog.
Yeah, it's a
basically.
DAC.
So that's the place where you can have both DC and AC eventually going over that interface, because it's the magic of digital analog converters and vice versa.
But you got to rely on the DAC.
Yes, yeah, and not everything has DACs in it. Obviously, all the analog circuitry that we love the sound of is all completely free of all that technology. So,
I mean, I could be sitting here in my DACs right now. You guys don't know.
Hey,
yeah.
They probably don't know what that means in some countries. Anyway,
we can guess. We can guess.
have you guys have not heard the term tracky DACs, have you? That's a real Australian term, that one.
No.
Do you guys know what tracky DACs are? Oh, you guys are going to go away from this show
Tell us.
completely
Tell us.
educated.
And explain
so,
why.
You know, sweatpants. Americans call them sweatpants.
Oh yeah.
Right. So we call them tracky DACs. It's a shortening of tracksuit pants. Right. Pants are DACs.
We're in tracky DACs right now.
Yeah. Tracky DACs. There you go, guys.
Yo también.
Next time you go up to someone and you're having a coffee with them, say, I know an Aussie, and they introduced me to this term tracky DACs, and it's a great little sort of coffee conversation with someone. Now you know what
I
it
should
is.
say that to my future daughter-in-law, who's Australian.
When she moves, yeah, fantastic.
Say that on my wedding day, shall I?
But yeah, so yeah, good on AM Synths. I definitely want to get him on the show. I don't know him personally, so yeah. Bolt to Synth, your next album, mate. It's going to be an interesting album, Manny.
Draggy daggies. Especially, I'd like to see the album cover as well. It's kind of a chromio style with tracksuit pants and a synth sitting along it. Yeah.
Geez, I'm glad. Annas and Pajamas from Australia, isn't that?
PJs.
Isn't that group Bananas and Pajamas a kids show? Isn't that an Australian thing?
Oh yeah, B1 and B2. Yeah.
B1 and B2.
Yeah.
Yes. Really, B1?
Yeah, it's kind of a bit weird, that show.
You know a special word for pajamas? You just call it pajamas, basically.
PJs, man.
Yeah.
PJs.
Yeah. Jammies.
Speedos, budgie smugglers. Yeah.
Jimmy Jams.
Jim Jams. Yeah. I got a question for Manny, actually, who's in the chat. Manny, if you have a spare second, and I know you're a busy man, if you do have a spare second, hit me up, because I'm dying to find out some DX7 patches that were used on a few different well-known songs. So if there's a way to find out, because I know you're across a lot of this stuff, let me know. Otherwise, if it's just,
I think Paulo Synthmania has a list of famous patches. A lot of them are DX7.
Yeah, but I had a look at Polo's, and I actually have had chat to him as well. I'm actually more after the Patrick Leonard ones, so if he knows, cool, good man. I don't want to get in trouble, like making them public, because sometimes people don't want to make certain things public. Right, that's it for news, I think. Yes, it is definitely it for news. So yeah, what was your favourite product this week?
News.
All the news.
No, Andy, no. I was just thinking, not that. Don't know really.
You're thinking not the music. I'm quite excited to see it on this synth, and hopefully it'll work. Those Eurorack modules, they look pretty cool. AM modular. He was at Synth East in February, and he a lovely man to talk to. He's really tall, really big bloke.
Yeah,
and he's
gentle giant.
He'd got those racks with him there and was talking through stuff, and really fascinating actually. Yeah, so a bit like yourself, Ranz, I've been on the AM Synths website looking at all these different things and basically getting confused though.
Yes, there's so many variations on the theme.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very you have to read the whole.
He's very dedicated to what he's doing.
Yes, it's very.
How is he making those unreleased modules if they never released them?
So a lot of them
research.
Okay, so
I know, but the circuits weren't made, right? So
no, he's got a if you watch that video that I, by the way, anything that we show in the show, this is for everyone. Anything we show on the show, like for example that, you'll see down the bottom of the screen a blog article link, which is ranzee.com synthgeekery-247. That is where you'll be able to find all the links to all the photos and videos and everything we show. And in that will be the link to the AM Synths video. And if you go check that out, you will actually find out, because he actually tells you in the video. And it's actually a really, really interesting video, by the way, because
he does have links to ARP. And
yep.
you know, he to the ARP Foundation and that. So, you know, he's been in touch with them previously because he did work on the Behringer 2600. You know, and he was also responsible for the 2500 modules. So he was already doing that, and Behringer have enlisted him to do it, and he was already in touch with the ARP Foundation. As I understand it, so he may well actually have original schematics and things like that, which he can be working on. But I don't know for certain. I just, from the conversation that I had with him, that's
he covers it in the
how
video.
I understand it. All right, okay. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go back and watch the whole thing.
Absolutely, it's worth it. It's only 13 minutes, and one of the things he says, I won't spoil it for you, but one of the things he says is that a lot of the stuff that they've designed, it's pretty much a guess. And it's an educated guess on what they would actually put in the circuitry, because that was what was around at the time. Doesn't it? And it's probably there's probably only going to be a few things that would be a new design, and they're obvious. You know, that it might be a complete new take on something. So, like for example, the sequence in the digital sort of side of things might be kind of funky. There were some ideas that they wanted to do with that. I do believe even ARP actually had plans at the time that they wanted to actually have a way to save sequences and patches. And they actually were... It's kind of cool when you think about that matrix system that they had with the 2500. They were actually going to come up with a way that you could electrically save the patches. On it.
The patching points,
which would have been interesting. But I don't think they got anywhere. It was just kind of, pipe dream idea type thing.
But the sequence of stuff we can talk about another time, because that was very interesting. At least I picked up on it. So once people watch the video, they might. We can talk about that more, because he's going to do probably.
I don't actually have the sequencer modules from that Behringer made.
No, and now I've seen what he put in the Behringer one. It's like, oh, you did what?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I want to get my hands on it.
Yeah.
At first, the only reason why I didn't get it, and I've been re-educated, so this was actually the wrong thing to think, was because it only had 8 steps, and the original ARP had 10 steps, and I thought, what are you doing? You're not actually making something to the way that synth was originally, designed,
envisioned.
But now that we found out that you can do these kind of things, that even Chris's GP82 module can help out with. It's actually it's a cool sequencer. The Behringer, I think it's, what is it? The 1037? No. What is it? I forget what it is.
I can't remember. I'm no good with the numbers. I was always bad with the names as numbers.
I'll tell you what it is. I'll even give you a photo of it. Give me a sec.
There is a system though. Like the next module in a certain genre had some 1 to it.
Yeah.
So it's 1030, 1031, 1032.
I've actually got a Word document here with everything in it. There we go. The sequencer is the 1027. I said 37.
Yeah,
and then there's the 1050, which is the mixer sequencer as well, which is also interesting. So the 1027 looks like... Drop it into the show so I can crash the show. It looks like that. And you guys will notice that is a 8-step sequencer, because it has 8 position gates on the right hand side, right? So that's the Behringer remake, and it's got some cool circuitry in it. But this was what the original ARP 2500 sequencer looked like. Please don't crash, show. And you can see it's got 10 steps.
No, yeah.
So don't know why. It's a small issue, I guess. But in my opinion, 10 steps makes for something different, right, than 8. But when you realize that you can actually create 10 steps with an 8-step sequencer by using certain techniques,
and then go to 2 again.
Yeah.
And go back 00 and go back to 2. Yep.
Then you've
8,
got
2, 8, 2, 8.
So you don't really need those extra 2 knobs.
Yeah.
And it's just sensibility, I think. I don't know. That was it. The other one was it the 1050? Did I say? Yeah. The 1050 is the mixer. This is actually a really cool module. I actually do want to get this. To actually be able to mix, it's kind of interesting how this works. And I kind of don't really know why people haven't done more of this sort of stuff. In a way, it's kind of like a funky matrix.
Yeah, it's sort of switching. Can do switching anyway.
Yeah.
It's a
switching,
but it's a step-based switching matrix.
Step-based switching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think that this module is actually more useful than a lot of people realize. And you don't need to use it just for 2500 modules. You can use it for any module. You can use it for your 1010 sampler if you wanted to, Brooksy. So you can route stuff with this.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's got 2 groups of 4 anyway.
And that one that's the Behringer version. Whoa, please don't select everything and then drop it in. That would be bad.
It would be here all night.
And that is the original ARP one.
It's a bit more delineated as a pair of dual. Yeah.
So the ARP
Makes
one,
it a little
if
bit
you look
easier
at the
to
Behringer
understand,
one
if you ask me.
versus the ARP one, the Behringer one is actually a combination of 2 modules into one.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
so if you ever watch any of the AM Synth videos, he doesn't do many videos, but specifically that one, you'll find out that he specifically, when he was working for Behringer, they made decisions about certain things, especially with the 2500 stuff. So cool. All right, what should we do next? Price watch. Hey. Right, here we go. Hurry up. Good. This one actually got me laughing quite a bit because whoever's actually got this thing has obviously got hold of a Roland Boutique and thought, "Oh, I've hit the gold mine."
These things, I've seen how much these things go
This
for.
is amazing.
Because they did stop making them, I
rich.
think, right? So
It's
brand new
fiesta
one will be
time
rare.
in Guadalajara. Bit of Tom Lehrer just to cheer things
Hey, pendejo.
Lovely. Oh, we've missed you.
up. Sorry.
Yes.
Lovely.
But it's not brand new.
Yes.
It might not be brand new.
Hey, caramba.
What else we got? There's no listing, obviously, for that. That's just someone sent me that in as a photo. I should actually mention who that is that sent me that one before we go across, because that was done through Discord, and I do like to give people acknowledgements. Where is it? Price Watch. Oh, it's gone now. Has he deleted it out of Discord? Oh, that's a bit of a shame.
Don't remember seeing it publicly. Maybe he sent it to
Maybe
you
he
privately.
sent it to me privately. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't
Bought
matter.
it and took it away so no one would get it. So
We'll move on. Next one is this one. This is the National. Geez, I actually haven't seen the Japanese company National.
Oh, yeah. Before it changed to...
Because I think they got bought out
Panasonic,
by
yeah.
Panasonic, didn't they?
Yeah, it was National Panasonic.
Yeah, National
we had a
Pana-
National
National
Panasonic
Panasonic.
Music Centre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Technics. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the SY50. It's the analog rhythm vintage analog drum machine for 450 Australian smackaroonies. That's actually pretty cheap. These were those sort of little boxes that you chucked on top of your organ to make your organ better, because you know. They are pretty rare though.
You had a national brand bread maker when I was in high school.
Yeah. This is actually, I believe it is actually still a live listing. I don't know if it's still. No, that one's not anymore. Okay, cool. All right, move on to the next. Next one is the Roland Varios. So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where we're talking about how Roland had an open system synthesizer that you could develop with
before the V-Synth. Yeah,
before the V-Synth, and they completely dropped this like stack of spuds, basically. Yeah.
Well, it supposedly stopped working after Windows 95, so it did lock itself into a time period.
Yeah.
Well, Windows 98, I think, was the last one you could use with it.
But this will have the LA synthesis stuff in it, right?
You have the, I think it also had the D50 in it, like the V-Synth has in it.
Yep.
It even had a, like, did it have a Jupiter in it or something like that? Some kind of like primitive Jupiter.
It had a VA. I'm pretty sure it had a VA. Yeah, and it was pretty because the D50 technically has a VA in it. So they probably just would have separated that algorithm out and just made it as a separate thing that you can use. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I actually liked it, and I think if that kept being redeveloped as a fluid system, it'd probably still be around today. But I feel like Roland just weren't seeing the dollar signs. That was probably the reason why they dropped it.
Yeah, I saw one locally for that price once. I passed on it. So.
Yeah. But 404 Australian dollars, I think that one is, and that one is in perfect circuit. By the way, that's why it looks a little different. Oh, that might be US dollars then. 404 US.
It should be US dollars. Yeah.
This is getting stupid now, the Jupiters. So that's about £23,000 now for a Jupiter 8. It does have the MIDI mod kit in it, which is pretty handy, to be fair. But I don't know about you guys. I'm not going to say no if someone rocked on my front door and said, "Here, have a Jupiter 8." I'm like, you're my best friend. But I don't know. This next one, I kind of feel like I would spend the money more on this than that. Because I do love the sound of the Jupiter 4. I don't know what it is about it.
I would prefer this. Yeah, me too. I would prefer the Jupiter 4.
Because it's basically a Pro Mars with, it's 4 Pro Mars, and it's been done well. I absolutely love the sound of the Pro Mars. And it's kind of got that... more of a 70s sort of feel to it,
raw sort of sound. Yeah,
it's weird. They have the Pro Mars plug out, but did they make a Jupiter 4 plug out? They didn't, did they?
Not a Jupiter 4. They were talking about
because they already had the Pro Mars.
I remember talking to a guy at Roland who works in Roland in Australia, and he said to me that they couldn't get it. This is when you had the boutiques coming out. And you had the System 1, and he said that you couldn't get it to work. They couldn't get the Jupiter 4 to work on the System 1. It just wasn't powerful enough, so they could only get it to work with one voice, because the actual the computer chip that's in a System 1 has to be able to also process all the other stuff, the MIDI I/O and the digital effects and things like that as well. So they left it at just one voice, which because it had was it 2 oscillators? I can't remember what the Jupiter 4 is. It's 2 oscillators, isn't it? Yeah.
No, it's only one. It's only a single oscillator.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that is, I believe that's it for Price Watch. So we had the Varios, the Jupiter 8, the Jupiter 4, and the National drum machine. I don't even think it does ratchets, mate.
That's the Guiro sound. If it has the Guiro sound, it is technically doing ratchets.
True. True.
Synthesis gag there.
looping envelopes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what would you get? Would you get any of that?
Jupiter 4.
Just like to hear it.
My
Yeah,
keyboard
Jupiter 4
stopped
sounds
working,
nice.
has it?
Jupiter 6, we didn't show that.
We didn't have one, mate. I was looking for one.
Yeah, well, I was on the Jupiter 6 route.
Yeah, it's the orbital. And we've said this before, and I have. It's the orbital thing. They've looked one around for years, haven't they?
Yeah. And they keep
Where's
taking
my
off
mouse
stage
gone?
and then bringing it back, and then
Do they have one with the Europa mod in it?
The Jupiter 4 or Jupiter 6?
6. No, he was talking about the Jupiter 6, but I don't think a lot of people did the Europa mod for it.
Mm. Yeah. What did the Europa mod do? Was it just like MIDI and stuff?
Better MIDI stuff. I think more control. I don't know. I forgot. It wasn't a whole lot. When the Jupiter 6 Cherry Audio thing came out, I asked them in the show about that on the PSN thing, and they said that there wasn't much need to add that because what they've already added to it in the software was kind of basically the Europa mod. So it's not just by default.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Something like that.
Okay, so we at the start of the show we were talking about you know, mucking around with your synths and stuff like that, and giving your FM or your DX7s if you've got those a bit of love. So I've got my DX7 behind me there. If I do that, you can see it better. It's not going to focus. Don't worry, you don't need to see that.
One thing you didn't bring up in news, Ranzee, is the Delptronics little box that has the
mini deck set in it.
DexEd thing in it, yeah, which is pretty cool.
That's right.
I don't think I saw that.
Really?
Yeah, it's really nice. And then you pair that with the
PSN, weren't they?
the DT7 editor, and then you're all set.
Yeah.
That one completely went.
Did it? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mickey Delp makes great stuff. I have a couple of his modules, so if he made it,
Keep me up with the
it's a
link.
nice
I'll
build.
check it out because I love the
Yeah.
Dex stuff, DexEd stuff.
Yeah, it's basically they did a proper case for it, but it looks recognisably the same as
It looks
ours.
nice, yeah.
Well, it looks the same as ours.
It basically same as what you guys did, just fancier. Yeah, it's just
Okay, so
Theirs doesn't have the post-it note on it.
well, okay. Can you send me one of those?
mine's still here.
It doesn't matter what light I use, you still can never read that display.
Yeah.
So annoying.
There's my DexEd. Actually, you know what we should do before I do the DX7 stuff? We should go to Chris and do his unboxing.
Why? Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Right.
I reckon that's more exciting.
Reckon it's more exciting? Right, well, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try and switch over to my lapel mic. Can you hear my... You can still hear me? No, you
Yeah.
can't because I haven't actually clipped it on. That would have been smart, wouldn't it? Okay. Turn it down before I do this. Okay, now I'm on my lapel mic, so I don't disappear from the mic every time I go somewhere else. So, trying to get
Yay.
more professionally. Yes. So what do? We do F3, yeah. And we get the camera, and we move the camera so that it's looking down on... Oh, what's that?
A box.
A box. And my crummy desk. Right, okay, so let's find out what's in the box. Right. Now, do they seal this thing these days? Yes,
Usually
they
a
do.
bit of
I have to
sticky.
get a razor. So I should do a bit of what?
Bit of sticky.
Bit of sticky. That's what flick
Hey,
marks
be
are for.
careful with that thing, Chris. You'll have someone's
yeah.
eye out.
Yes, I know.
Everyone duck.
I've got several of them, and there are ones I prefer not
Whack.
to use because of that reason.
There's some stuck in the wall. Some stuck in the door.
Yes. Carefully close it. Okay.
Roger, Victor, Roger. Victor is the phonetic name for V.
No, I'm just kidding. Oh, it's exciting packaging. Well, at least it's got nice foam. Okay, you won't be needing that. Because I downloaded the manual, redacted all of the other languages.
Now, just out of curiosity, this is actually not a clone of anything, right? This is basically...
Technically it is not.
This is basically a Behringer product. I mean, obviously they've got ideas from something else to make it, but the actual product itself is not like a Mutable Instruments clone or anything. This is actually a module that they've designed and developed themselves.
There's no harm with them doing Mutable Instruments clones either. There's many of those out there.
Of course,
the code is open source, so
yeah, of course.
But things like this, I think, are perfectly reasonable. And the price of this thing, it's a no-brainer.
It's so cheap, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm amazed you've got one, Chris. I couldn't source it.
Yes, it sold out in, I think it was 5 days. I saw it come in on this Monday, and it was sold out by yesterday. No, by Wednesday afternoon.
Mental. Go on, give your knob a wiggle, Chris.
Straight for that.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Oh,
Chris, that was too much, man.
Straight for the fiddle.
Well, mate, you can see it's genuinely a Behringer product.
Boys and their toys.
Does it have feedback though? That little is it springy?
No, it's the squishy.
It's a squishy.
Squishy. Yeah, it's kind of got.
Is it sprung, Chris? Does it spring back to the middle?
No. It's positional.
Oh, excellent. Good. That's how it should be.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Exactly. Yeah, it's proper vector control.
That's actually a really cool module. So it's based on the Pro VS oscillator,
Correct.
right?
Yes, essentially. So I guess
Without the ugly case and mini keybed on it, right?
I better do the next
Have that toy
sexy
one
thing,
there.
and
He's peeling off the screen. Ooh.
I'm going to peel off the screen connector because this is, I've got people watching now. It's actually worth doing.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, Barry White, take it off.
Oh, that deserves a crowd cheer.
No, we need that. We need power.
And the crowd's gone wild.
And will this?
You're gonna plug it in, are you?
I might as well. What could possibly go wrong?
use one of your new cables that you made.
Yes. So, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will reposition slightly so that the camera. Let me just put this down on an anti-static surface. I promise. So that it's a little closer to the power supply, because we don't want nastiness happening, do we? Right.
Wow, he actually connects his Eurorack stuff up without turning your power off.
Yes, I know. I am a rebel. I am a
What a
complete
rebel you are!
No, it's the DIY in me that does that. Well, look at it. It's got a display.
It's completely safe to do it, by the way, guys. If you're wondering.
Yeah, I know.
That's actually a really nice looking module. I like that.
It's a nice looking module.
So you've got turned on. Okay, so this does have a little bit of Platts sort of feel to it in the way that they've designed the UI, because you know that Behringer made the Brains, which is the Platts clone, right? So you've got that little bank selection thing across the top, which will be the waveform. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Can we make it sound anything, or is that too hard?
We could, but I reckon it would be better if I properly put it in one of my cases. So maybe, and hook it up with some a filter or something. So maybe come back to me later.
Okay. Is that
okay? Is that okay?
No, it's not okay.
Oh. So I'll get working on it.
So anyway, did I show this before? There's the DX7 sitting over there. Sitting on patch 24. I don't know what patch 24 is. What does it sound like? There we go. That's patch 24.
Panpipes.
Yeah, it's kind of got a nice sound to it, and obviously there's some reverb, quite a decent reverb going on with it. But one of the things I was reading during the week, right, when I was looking at the DX7, was that one of the techniques a lot of the musicians did in the 80s is they layered the DX7 with more DX7, or they layered it with other synths. And there was a few other things that they did to it too, like because the DAC on the DX7 is a little hissy, so they used to put it through rack-based noise compression and stuff like that. So they will always sound different on a recording than what they'll sound raw from the back of the synth. And so this is the kind of thing. But one of the things that I kind of like to do with the DX7 is actually layer it. And I think like a great way to layer it is to actually have some analog stuff with it, because you got that sort of digital sounding crisp sound of the DX7 with some analog sounds. And so all you have to do is just bring the MIDI in to a different sound, and then you can do. And you can see how much different that sounds just by layering your DX7 sounds with other stuff. And obviously you don't have to do analog, you can use a VST inside your DAW or anything like that. Now what I just used just then was what I showed you guys last week, which I absolutely love the sound of these oscillators at the moment. They are insanely good. Why is my camera not showing the overhead? Oh, there it is. That's the sound. You can back it off. Just have the one oscillator. There you go. So yeah, just me mucking around this week. What I've got planned to do with the DX7 is a couple of things. I've got, I don't know if you can see above it, is the Sonic ESQ1. So there's a couple of 80s synths there sitting there, beautiful. So I want to get one thing I love about the ESQ1 is it's so crunchy digital. It's really crunchy digital, right? It's like eating a packet of crisps when you're in the cinemas. It's that, right? And everyone's pissed off with you. That's how crunchy it is, right? And then that's going through this beautiful, smooth C Curtis filter. It's like someone's got the fire hose and it's full of milk and they've sprayed it all over you. So that's basically an ESQ1 down pat, and they're an incredibly interesting synth. So I want to marry the two, because a lot of people did. A lot of people had the ESQ1 and had the DX7 in their studios, and because they were both quite affordable synths in the time, like they weren't expensive synths. Both the ESQ1 and the DX7 weren't on that sort of more expensive side, so there was a lot of musicians that could have afforded one. By the way, it sounded a little bit out of tune, probably because the oscillators had probably warmed up a little bit since I set up the studio. Oh, yep, you can see it. It was slightly out of tune. Now, which one's that? That's probably this one, right? So we probably just need to bring that back a little bit. One thing I love about this oscillator is that Bourne's control is like, I'm literally banging it with my finger, and notice that it's not going out of tune. If I did that to any other oscillator, especially those ones here, the System 100s, it would literally just jump out of tune. So I love that Bourne's potentiometer. It's really, really cool. I wonder if the other one is out of tune too. Yep, she's gone out of tune. They do warm up and they stay relatively in tune. There we go. You guys notice that when you're tuning analog oscillators, some synths you can never get it. Like you're kind of there, and then you're there, and then you're hang on, get in the middle. Come on, get in the middle. You know, you're doing that, right? It's like playing a game of Pong when you're trying to tune your.
Tuning's overrated, Ranz.
Tuning's overrated. Yeah, everything should be detuned, shouldn't it? There we go. That's perfectly in tune now. But the only problem now we've got is the volts per octave tracking is not perfect anymore.
Good.
So yeah. What's my white mic doing? Spangly.
No, the mesh head of your mic, it just goes sort of really spangly and glittery in the video. It's really quite enticing.
This?
Yeah, no, not
this.
the pop guard, the actual spangly. Yeah, that bit. Yeah, it's all really, there you go. It's got spangly. Woo!
Oh, when I knock it. Probably because there's a light there. Yeah,
just for prom. Look, I've actually got one here, right? I've got my resistance band here, and I sit in my chair doing me stretching exercises because of me. So yeah, I've got one. Cheers.
I've got to do this, Brooksy. I find that I've got to get the shoulders and pull them back, because I find that like a lot of us musicians, we're always kind of bent over. Yeah, you guys feel that? We're always kind of bent over, and so you get that sort of strain across the back of top of your neck.
Yeah. You're staring at small screens like, what's that?
Yeah,
exactly. I've been having physio for me in the top of my back here. I've been getting some real sharp stabbing pains in here, and
I get that
lower down. So I've been doing these stretching exercises, which cause me to suffocate because my belly gets in the way and I can't breathe, and then and then these pulling things and pulling it up and pulling it and reach. I realised that he said to me, the physio said, "Can you do press ups?" Of course I could do press ups. I got down on the floor and tried to do a press up, and I nearly died. Honestly, I can't believe it. 7 years of no exercise, and now I'm just a blob. It's wrong. I've got to do something about it.
Yeah.
So just to you, Prom. Yeah, I've it's to my right hand.
Manny, you're a funny man.
Anyway, sorry, I interjected with nothing relevant. I should. Yeah, you're right.
It was relevant. I didn't really.
I'll give you a game.
I didn't really want to make it into a big DX7 show anyway, because like I kind of feel like.
Well, switch it off then. Sorry.
No, it's the DX7 would make people switch off. That's the thing. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Andy. It's great. It's lovely DX7, and I love playing it. Oh,
I have a DX7, DX802. I have so much FM.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell Robbie. Don't tell Robbie. I'm a bit of a DX convert. Really. I'm actually loving it.
QRDNK made just an announcement about the concert in chat. I mentioned it last week when we did the funny meme. So I think most people know it's in Slovakia at Bratislava in Slovakia. Yeah. Might be a bit of a hike for you guys in the UK. It's definitely a bit of a hike for us in Australia. But it is free. It is free, so you can just rock up.
I'd love a trip to Bratislava. I mean, Prague is one of my favourite places, and Bratislava has been on the list of places to get to. So,
Prague is beautiful. The architecture there is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
Yeah. But yeah, I won't be going because it's completely out of my budget.
Looking at the date, I probably won't either. But never mind.
One of the things that a lot of people ask me about with the DX7 is that how do you get all the patches in and out of it? It's actually really easy. It's actually pretty simple. All you need is some sort of MIDI type librarian, and one of the best ones you can get is the one on the Mac if you've got Macs. Let me see if I can get my keyboard to work again. Here we go. So it's the SysX librarian on Mac is the one I use.
Yeah.
It's free.
One I use too.
Amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. In fact, you can go in. One of the things that you might have to do with some of the older synths is you might have to slow down the communication speed, because it won't be able to handle some of the more modern, speeds that you can do it. So you can use that, or you can just use if you've got DXED on your VSTs, which I do. That's another one you can use. So we'll bring DXED up.
Yeah, it
We
works
showed
really well
DXED
with
the other
Op6
day.
as well. Yeah, I remember loading some DX7 patches into the OP1 through it.
Yeah,
It works really well.
I'll do that. I'll just bring DXED up for you guys so you can see that. So there's DXED.
Not OP1. OP.
I know what you mean. You mean DXED, the
Yeah, OP6.
OP6, yeah.
Yeah, OP6.
To
yeah, not
do the
OP1.
DXED though is you need to play around with this stuff down the bottom here with the carts and params and stuff. So that you click on that, you would go into your. I mean, I've got a folder here with all the Yamaha DX7 presets, and if you're good and you've gone and downloaded them and extracted them, there's a stack. That one there, DX7 OC, is all the original cartridges that you can get from Yamaha. There's a few others around too. That this is not everything in here, but yeah, you click on these and you can go in and actually literally look before you put it on your synth what the patch numbers are called and stuff like that. So pretty cool, isn't it? And then you can upload that into your DX7. So that is how you do that. I could probably even do it. Or maybe I don't. I can't. Haven't got it connected. Yep. No, I can't. Doesn't matter. But that's probably a really easy way of doing it. And another way, I mean, doing it that way, you could just do it one patch at a time. I think so. Yeah. I can hear sounds, Chris. Are you ready to rock and roll yet or not?
I'm just tuning it.
It's A440.
Okay.
Sounds like you're sawing something with your Dremel. Alright, let's cross over to Chris.
Let's get some video set up first.
Why is it holding that for review? Stupid YouTube.
Let's try it a different way. Sorry about the... It's Drone Central. How did I go?
Is this Jam Taba?
Oh, that's me. I'm just waiting for Chris.
Is that better? Ooh.
Roger, Roger, Victor, Victor.
Oh yeah. Okay, we're on. And when it moves, it doesn't look like it's moving because the camera is attached to the case. So even though I have a wobbly case,
Just don't let it fall down, mate.
oh don't worry, not going to fall down. I've learned my lesson after that last show. So what I haven't done is I haven't set up a VCF and an envelope. Got the envelope there, but I don't have the VCF yet. So it's a little bit listening to waveforms mode. So let's change our A waveform. Select. I wonder if you can CV control that, because that would be really cool if you could CV control that. I think you, from what I read of the manual, the MIDI port, sorry, the USB port allows MIDI CC control over a lot of the synth parameters, but there's no actual MIDI note support. So that's odd, but that's what they've chosen to do. So you need to trigger it. You need to trigger it. Lovely musical, but you need to do all your pitch control and your gate control. It does have this mix envelope, which is like it's a version, I guess it's kind of a version of a simplified version of a vector control envelope, but it's just I'll go to it actually. You probably can't. I don't know if you can even see the
Yeah, we can see it.
You can see it. Okay. So if we go to ENV mix.
Yep.
You can select between a few different types of envelope controls. So let's see if we can hear that. I think it's pretty slow at the moment. So I've got it in the middle. And then I release in. So going from different envelope, different position to another position.
So it's like a modulation envelope? Is that what they mean by
Kind
that?
of, yeah. So it's I think what it's saying is that 2 is B, 3 is C, etc. So it's basically moving. It's basically a simple envelope that moves the vector control. You know, as if you're doing that to, so if that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. So I think it just sort of does a movement like that when you want to go from 2 to 3. Yeah, 2 to 3. Is that right? A, B, C, no. 2 to 3, it's adjacent, okay. So is that what it does? Not really.
Or it might
More
be
manual reading required.
It might be envelope 2 and envelope 3. There might be some
Yeah, there might be
algorithm
something more
type
complicated
envelopes.
going in there.
Yeah.
If I keep on hitting select,
That's your number of repeats.
oh yeah, it's going between 2 different ones.
Ah, yeah. What was that synth that we were playing with a few years ago that had the
Ooh, now
envelope
we've
repeat
got-
stuff?
Is there a overall speak? Oh, they're different
Base
points.
Station 2. That's what it was.
Yeah, okay. So we're seeing here we've got different mix envelope points. So you can set the A, B, and C.
Yep.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
You can enter them directly.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's 3.
So what it's saying is it's like an algorithm. 3 is this is where you've got the stick,
Yeah.
and 2 it's like a crossfade.
Yeah. So we want 2, don't we?
I like that. It's pretty cool.
So I've re-triggered it and now it's going, repeating how many times I told it to. Now it would be good if we could change the timing. That's probably. That must have been timing, that R1. I think it might be for each individual. Oh, that's slowing it down, probably. It's a bit cumbersome to move through. If you want to go back to another setting, you can't really go.
Menu divey.
Yeah, well, this isn't the best way to use it. It's certainly not the way I intend to use it.
It has the USB-C connection on it, right?
Yeah. So you can upload programs to it that'll have all of this baked
What I
in.
was interested is that did Behringer so if you plug that into your computer and you open up that Synth Drive app, do they give you a whole bunch of software editing features in there?
So That's why I updated to the latest Synth Tribe application,
Yeah.
which is probably one of the things I should do soonish. Is
Yeah.
actually connect it. But yeah,
Because
Do you
that'd
wanna
be
do
cool
that?
if they did. Well, I mean, you can have a look. You don't have to do it on camera, but you can have a look.
yeah,
I
of
guess.
course that would
Yeah.
be tricky of me. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So the question is, do I have a USB cable long enough? I don't think I do.
So the trick
Plus I'm
to
also running.
the trick to vector synths in Eurorack would be to get it to modulate the vector, right? That would be your power side. So do you want to, Chris? Do you want to chuck an LFO in?
Yep, that would be a
One-
good,
one of your X
excellent
and Ys?
idea. Can do that. Let's grab one of these.
I'm wondering what it gives you inside the box too. I would have thought, being a digital
Longer cable.
module, they might have given you some sort of, because you've got that button under page, which you've got the X mod and the Y mod, right?
Yep. So you can modulate those.
Yeah. So does it have internal modulation for those?
Well, that's what the envelope, I think, is.
Right.
Sort of serving the purpose of that inbuilt envelope.
Yep.
So is that doing stuff? That's a good question. X in. It's going very slowly at the moment, and it's not attenuated, which is probably not helping. That is envelope 2, which is. Okay. Seems to be not responding much.
You might have to
Tell it to
tell
respond.
it to, yeah.
Or if it's in a program that doesn't allow it or something. Interesting. This is a good question. Interesting. There's nothing plugged into it and it's making... Ooh. That's odd.
Oh, that's your frequency modulation thing, right?
Yeah, but you'd think with nothing plugged into it, it shouldn't be having any impact. I guess maybe it's normal to 1 volt or something.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. Right, now we're not getting a lot of anything. Why is that?
Platts does something similar.
Brains does as well,
Oh,
which is
excellent.
obviously
Does
Platts.
that do anything?
How stiff is your knob?
This one's lovely.
Daren!
Very lovely.
It's a
And
bit
this
floppy,
one,
It's all right, it's
this one,
because
this
it's-
one surprisingly
just
is
looking at-
quite firm. This is quite a firm knob, and there's absolutely no clickiness to it. So that's one of those continuous ones. A bit like the actually, it's much harder to move than the which you can't see because I'm
Show us,
pointing down there.
show us
It's
your
'cause
floppy
the
knob,
Volt
Darren.
Yes, knob. It's probably the same knob,
Yeah, it's probably
but
exactly
it
the
must
same.
that one.
different.
It's a
Well,
PlayStation
it's-
joystick.
It's quite gentle to be moved, but it's quite sensitive, and it's a little bit of.
I reckon it's exactly the same.
It's probably exactly the
Does
same.
it push in as well?
I reckon. No, does it press in?
Oh yeah,
There
it
you
does.
go. Yeah,
What does that do?
that would be a selector of some sort, I'd say.
Have to
Yeah.
be in the right mode, maybe.
Ooh.
I think they've stiffened it up a bit because that doesn't look as floppy as mine.
Seem to do a thing.
Are you jealous, Darren?
You just didn't
Yeah,
excite it.
because
enough,
mine
Darren.
just won't
That's it.
stand up at all. I know. It just won't stand up. It just flops down all the time.
It, does,
I
it
think
doesn't
you
like
get
you,
tablets
Darren.
for it, but I'm not sure.
I wonder if. Yes. The question is, why can't we get the modulation?
Nobody
Press
likes
that, what is
floppy knob syndrome, do they?
Oh, let's go back page. Oh, okay. Now I worked it out. Ugh.
It had too much alcohol, so.
Thank
Bless
you.
you,
If
Brooksy.
I do this. Oh, I've worked out how to go
Sorry.
backwards. Isn't that clever? Oh, there you go. I've worked out the interface and now I know how to go backwards. That's going to save time.
Well, it's what those little arrows show you, mate.
Yeah, but all I can see is the big red glowing knobs. I didn't see the screen printing on the front.
Yeah, because it's glowing in your eyes.
It's
yeah.
glowing in my red, and
Yeah.
it's once
My
been
retinas.
This is the problem
Yes.
this is
So,
the problem
yeah,
with
it's
knobs,
interesting.
especially if they're glowing.
Yeah, so we tried different modulation sorts, maybe.
I don't mind the odd glowing knob, to be fair, Darren. You know,
It depends how big it is, because
glowing in the dark.
glow you're getting.
You know,
Well, at least you can see where it is.
glowing in the dark's a good thing. You know, you've always got some sort of
X means that
way of finding things.
So I take B and
You see, because I definitely think they've stiffened up its knob, because if you centralize my knob and then lift it up, it just drops.
Oh, I need to see that. So let me see you flop your knob, Darren.
There's some great
No!
samples here.
I'm going to.
No!
hey guys, I'm doing a serious
Yeah.
I'm
demo
going to
here.
centralize it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's centralized.
yep. Oh, it's droopy now.
Uh,
Darren, you've got a droopy
Yeah,
knob.
do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you,
It just
though,
doesn't stay there.
I do believe that the purpose of the Pro VS that you've got, Darren, is not supposed to be mounted vertically. I think
It's
you're
for on the
supposed
desk.
to. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
for the
flat.
desk.
No,
flat.
And I feel like Behringer probably went, hey, we realised it's a floppy knob, so we might have to stiffen this one a bit. What do you feel, Chris?
Yeah,
do you feel
Hey,
that's a
Darren,
bit
on
stiffer?
on the tabletop version, does the button press do anything on the stick, or is it not implemented?
Jeez, guys.
yeah, no, it does. It selects values.
It does select.
So
Okay.
it's got a bit of springy wobble to it, which is quite
Yeah.
Because you don't have a data wheel on the desk one, so you can select values via the
Flick it,
press
Chris.
knob.
Flick it.
I have.
No,
It's
no.
responding. It's responding.
Andy, that's funny.
Is it doing the right thing?
It's probably too early in the morning for these types of jokes for Andy.
No, I any time is fine. I'm okay with these kind of jokes. So, it's the pub atmosphere, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, anyway,
Hmm.
We're all a bunch of little kids anyway.
you'll work it out during the week, Chris.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
man,
Don't panic.
it's,
Don't panic.
Let's do something more interesting. Ooh.
According to Wagyu, I've got a bad knob.
Oh.
Now, Wagyu says, if you guys are looking at chat, Wagyu says, my knob stays where I put it. That's a quote of the century.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mine wanders.
You
That's
could go
not
on
very
tour with that.
practical, Wagyu.
Wagyu. That's-
No, yours is floppy, Darren. It's
It's
droopy.
like Babe Ruth. You can point where you want it to go, right? So,
It's the
Hang
key
on,
step, by
hang
the
on.
way.
Pamela Anderson's coming into Zoom and she wants to talk
Okay.
about what we're talking about.
so
I think it's quite enough of that.
the basic circuit of this, is it the same as the tabletop one that Darren has, or is this a very different circuit?
It's supposed to be the same, from what I heard.
The same one, okay.
Yeah. So the sounds will
see.
will be the same, but Darren's has got different like controls. He has probably got more control over it because he's got the.
Yeah.
Sure.
Darren, show yours again
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they can see.
Let's just see if I can
So
get.
Darren's you've got all those knobs and buttons and stuff like that. You've got more control,
Yeah.
right? His is more a bit like a Volca.
Do you like that one, Darren? Is it decent?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Don't cut
I
yourself,
don't worry
Chris.
about
cheap.
it sounding exactly like a Pro V.
They didn't
It's
see that,
cheap.
but
No,
I did.
no, just
That's
fun,
some
right?
Effects behind it. Yeah, it's great. I don't mind it. It's fun. There's some sounds off there on the remixes, so laid up with other stuff. So yeah, it's cool. Put effects behind it, and it's nice
Yeah, it needs
for the
needs
price.
effects.
I mean, you're not getting a.
Exactly, yeah.
I think someone else
Yeah,
said
so-
that they've got
so
a
the-
floppy knob as well on theirs.
So I guess with the Victor,
So it must be
with
hit
the
and miss if
Victor,
you've got
what
one.
you, I guess with the Victor to make it really more usable, you really need a VST editor or something, some kind of editor, software editor, I think. It
Well, that's what
take the place of
that's
the
what I
front
thought
panel.
that it might have.
On
Chris,
the-
you need to run it through a VCF VCA envelope generator thing. Really, it's an oscillator. It's
Yes.
not
Yes,
a dedicated voice. You know, they've put those envelopes in to make it so you can use it a bit out of the box. But
Yes.
you know, that was absolutely clear that was just generating a noise. End of. And it became interesting when you started wiggling your knob about. And well, come on, you set them up, I'll knock them down. And Ian,
Yes.
but you know that's the point of it. It's not a synth voice on a card.
No.
It's an oscillator, and you've got to treat it as that. Can I just say actually at this point that your
I think
demo
you're
was so
absolutely right.
magnificent, so absolutely
thank you.
magnificent that I've bought one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna-
bought one. Yes.
How
I thought.
much are they?
So did you pre-order?
Good on you, Jason.
£85 from Torman, you know, plus delivery.
To aid
Oh,
stiffening of
thoughts.
said
Yeah.
thingy. Let's just give Jason a pat on the back. That's awesome, mate. Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
Nice one, Jason. So yeah,
And
it says
so the
what it
Europa
says
mod
once.
needs the Viagra mod. So
Yeah.
You can get
One
these,
to
by the way.
1 to 2 weeks delivery.
You can get them.
well,
Okay.
Um,
Not too bad.
I've looked all over in the UK and they weren't
Sweetwater
available.
has them.
So, well, I've ordered it from Torman. 1 to 2 weeks. I can wait that long. I'm not short of things to go bleep, am I? So
Yes. So. Yeah. No, I think it's the. Yeah, I'm kind of keen on the different. It's
If
kind
you
of
are-
a poor man's wave state. And wave state is it wave state?
If you-
Which is the one which does the wave tables.
Yeah.
The Korg one.
the Wave State
Yeah,
was based on the
Wave
Puppet VS.
Yeah.
Oh, the Wave Station was anyway.
if you are in
Yeah.
Australia, there are some in stock, so don't worry.
At Sounds Easy, I'm guessing.
Sounds easy.
Rance?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, that was
Sounds
the only place
easy.
left.
And
Taramara Music, maybe.
DJ City have some,
Oh yes, okay.
and let's see who else.
Yes, because Google's very good at showing you things that you can't buy. Of course, you have to go click on each one to go to the website to
Oh,
determine
yeah.
whether it's actually in stock or
I
not.
think Found Sound might have
Nice
them.
one.
store like
Google.
DJ City, do they have a lot of modular stuff there or not really?
DJ City is. I've never actually been there because it's on the other side of the country.
No.
We have a store that's like a franchise all the way around Australia. It's called Store DJ, and they have a lot of DJ stuff, lots of DJ stuff.
You should send them your Homer meme thing. So
Found Sound have them in stock as well.
Oh, cool. Yep.
So there's a fair bit still around, floating around Australia if you want.
Yeah, I think there's more of them in Australia at other places because it's a eurorack module. They seem to stock a lot more of the
Yeah.
Behringer modules than they do the Behringer other stuff.
But
It's a bit
I've
harder to
noticed
get
that
the desktop modules.
Behringer is starting to sell stuff on Amazon.
That's
and
interesting.
Yeah.
So interact then.
well, plenty of the Chinese stuff is on Amazon. It makes sense.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful though, because sometimes you might think that you're buying it from the Behringer shop, but it's not.
Yes.
But I've bought stuff from the Behringer shop on
Most
Amazon.
unscrupulous gentlemen.
Yeah. Anyway, it's available in Australia, so there's probably a good 5 or 6 around the country. If you want to grab one, probably need to grab it this weekend.
Yeah. God knows when they'll get the next round in. It's like Store DJ. Well, everyone in Australia seems to be terrible at getting Behringer stuff in. Yeah. Do you find that, Rant? So it's they don't know when it's coming, and they hardly know how much to order. I think they put in their orders so soon they make judgments on what things are going to sell, and when there's been a bit of time and they've worked out that actually it looks like people really wanted this. A pity we only had ordered 5 of them.
I think it comes down to the
It's not.
the product guy who works in the warehouse, and I reckon he just he just gets stuff that he's interested in.
Yeah.
Some of it will be very
probably right.
allowing dealers to have certain numbers of products.
Hmm.
Because I know that when we dealt with Behringer, you could ask for 10 of something, but you could never guarantee
Yes.
that's what you're going to get.
That's right. Yeah.
They always play that game, which was really irritating.
They did.
Yes.
They did go through a massive overhaul of that, though. To be fair, I don't want to throw them under the bus.
No.
It was probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I remember this being.
Yeah,
a
I'm
huge
talking
thing.
longer ago.
So they changed their whole worldwide distribution about 2 or 3 years ago because they actually had a massive big issue worldwide where people weren't getting stock. So what they did is, for example, Andertons in the UK, and they're able to buy directly off of Behringer. Thomann are able to buy directly off of Behringer. There's a place in Australia, I can't remember who it is. It might be CMI, Chris, I'm not sure. They're able to buy directly off of Behringer. And then as a result of that, you now get that. So the Behringer has a warehouse in China or whatever it is, and they ship directly to those retailers.
Those dealers. Yeah,
whereas before it was going through a group distributor.
Yeah, we had a distributor. Yeah, that's exactly what we had.
And that was causing all sorts of bottleneck issues because they were trying to control, for example, I think the big blowout was actually Sweetwater were getting really pissed off with them because they were getting, it was 12 months later they'd get a product that they'd had available in Europe for 12 months before the US could get it, and there's plenty of examples of it. It's when they started first doing all that, all the new stuff that they were doing, and people in the US are one of the biggest markets, so it was kind of stupid. And so Yuli would have been hang on a minute, guys, there's people in America, and they're probably a good 40-30% of the world's market, and we're not getting it to them for 12 months. What's going on?
That was dumb.
Yeah, we buy all kinds of stuff.
They fix that quickly.
It also makes better sense for the margins if you're cutting out a distributor. If you can go direct from manufacturer to dealer, it's actually much better for both.
In fact, I actually think if you went back, I don't know how you do it, but if you went back through one of my shows, you would actually find the episode where we talked about it, and I did a screenshot of how much they were in Australia the week before, the exact same products, even though that particular retailer had bought them through the different supply channel before. Behringer have made them all readjust all their prices now because that new direct distribution channel that they've got. And I remember them in some cases we were getting System 100 modules and they were $100 cheaper in Australia, which is a massive amount.
Oh yeah.
And that was purely by pulling out that group distributor that was causing all sorts of issues.
Yeah, I was the benefit of that because I bought most of my 100 modules after that had happened. So
so
I was lucky.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, on a completely unrelated note, I actually am going to have to probably scoot in a sec because I have to get up early tomorrow, and because I'm coaching a soccer team in the morning.
Ooh.
Hey.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Oh.
Yep.
Or is that
I've done it for the last couple of years, Brooksy, so it's not a new thing for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Kick it.
Yeah.
And it's harder.
I don't know why I get given all the beginners.
Don't do that.
So
You
obviously
guys
not that
regularly
good.
call it soccer there?
Yeah, we have to call it soccer because in Australia there's different football codes. So the whole in Australia the whole bunch of different types of footballs have their own name. So Australian rules, rugby, rugby union, rugby league, and soccer. But the real soccer heads will call it football. That's what they'll call it. But to be fair, all of those codes technically are all type of football, aren't they? So,
there's a ball and there's a foot.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. American football is called football because it's only kicked once in a while. It's mostly passed.
Yeah. Well,
rugby's
which is sort of NFL, right?
Well, rugby,
So
same as rugby.
Yeah.
Rugby's the same, isn't it? Yeah.
And you've got gridiron, right? So over there you've got gridiron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've there's been a lot of jokes about different types of football codes in the world, but I don't know if you guys have ever watched Australian rules, but these guys they're completely insane. They regularly get concussed. They jump 7-8 foot in the air and land hard on their backsides on the turf, and they
Gotta be
run at extremely fast pace, and they smash into each other, and they're not wearing any protective gear at all. Whereas in America, they wear shoulder pads and helmets and all sorts
the
of
problem
stuff.
with the shoulder pads and the helmet, it gives you a false sense of security. And guys break necks. They have like short careers because they push themselves because of the pads.
Right.
And they get really messed up. So
They still get concussion. In
Like,
America
I
as well.
watched
yeah,
this.
you can't stop concussion. It still bounces around your skull. So
I watched this game today where this guy he's imported from some African country. I forget. I think it might have been Sudan or something like that, right? And he's probably about 6'5", 6'6". He's really tall. He's got these massively long legs on him, and he took this jump, and I swear his feet were on top of this guy's shoulders. And this guy was 6'7". So this guy jumped literally vertically off the ground, and his feet were on top of his shoulders, and he went up for this mark. And I'm just looking at it and thinking, you're going to land on your butt in a split second, and that's exactly what he did. So he probably fell from about 7 foot in the air and just went smash on the ground, and he just gets up and runs off like nothing, like he's just jumping up and down on the bed.
And the crowd love it.
Yeah,
Crowd love it.
And this is our football game in Australia. This is what we call AFL or Australian rules, right?
Surprisingly, as well, there's quite a lot of injuries in our football code. Interestingly enough,
there is.
I wonder why that is.
So
we had a high jumper join us at the basketball court one day a long time ago, and high jumper is an incredibly high jump in place.
Oh yeah, they're crazy.
At the basketball, he's like way up by the rim.
What's that guy? The famous guy that had that. He was really short, but he had this incredible vertical leap. I think it was Spud. Was it Spud Webb? I think it might have been Spud Webb. He was an NBA player, right? And he used to, he was quite short. He was probably 5'7", 5'8", and he played in the NBA. He played basketball in the NBA, and he used to have this vertical leap. He was able to dunk.
Yeah, some guys are nuts.
He was able to dunk the ball. He was incredible. Yeah. Anyway, so that's why my son plays soccer, because I kind of feel like it's more an international game, there's I feel like there's good sort of worldwide knowledge about that sport. So there's if he's not going to be Maradona or anyone like that, don't worry. But if he chose to be, he probably could. But he's only 9 years old.
If he enjoys it, that's probably the most important thing, isn't it?
I mean, when you guys played, I don't know if you guys played sport when you were kids, but when I started playing sport, I was in what they call third grade or grade 3, which I would have probably been 8 or 9 years old, 7 or 8. I don't know, somewhere around there. I don't know what age I was, but so my son's been playing since he was in second grade.
Wow!
So
they do start him young.
It's crazy, days. And by the time he gets to secondary school or high school, we call it here, he would have been playing for 5 or 6 years. So it's it's crazy, and they have it's probably no different in your countries, but where you are, but it's really competitive. So for example, with my son's soccer club, they around about early January, because our season is in the winter here in Australia, so it's the opposite to you guys, right? In the northern hemisphere. But they announce that the list is open for your particular age and for the juniors, right? And within 2 weeks, the list was full. You couldn't get your kid in. I had people ringing me because I'm a coach. I had people ringing me saying, I can't get my son, because I coached them last year. They'd be like ringing me, screaming at me, saying, I can't get my son in the team. And I said, yeah, because you've missed out. You were too slow. It's literally, it fills within 2 weeks because it's so popular. And there's clubs all over our city. Our city's only got about 2.5 million people in it. And there's clubs all over the city from, like we've talked about this before, it's about 130 k's from the furthest north suburb
to the big city, right?
Yeah, it's a massive city. Yeah, it's a big city. But yeah, they literally don't have where the clubs are. They literally don't have the fields to allocate for the amount of people that want to join the club. So if that makes sense. So they've got grounds, and they've got pitches. And if they had more grounds and more pitches, they'd be able to take more members in. right, and more players, but they just physically can't.
Yeah. Popular game.
It is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
popular. Yep.
And growing.
And
in Australia.
to be honest, soccer is not the most popular sport in Australia. There's other sports that are more popular, but I feel like it's growing. I feel like it'll probably will get there eventually. Yeah, 2.5 mil, Manny, is a small place when you think about some of your American cities, and especially some of the Asian cities in China. Wow, it's crazy.
Spread out.
Yeah.
We're not spread out.
But we have massive houses, like not the houses themselves, but the blocks of land that they're sitting on.
Yeah.
I've said this before. Like, I had a friend that came over and stayed with me. He was from Italy, and he said, he goes, everybody has a football field in their front yard. It's like, it is. It's true.
Well, where else are you going to play footy? I mean,
we do. We kick the footy in our front yard.
Premium.
Yeah.
See, if you live on a stupid, piddlingly small island stuck somewhere in the North Sea, land's at a premium, especially when you've got a population of 70 million like we've got now. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And in the southeast of England, it's even worse. So,
well, it's a bit of space where you are, Brooksy, though, isn't there? There's a bit more space up there.
Oh, the further north you go, the more space becomes available. But it's still not great.
I've moved to a big town. I've moved to a town with 25,000 people, which is big compared to where I was.
Yeah, you were in like a village before. Yeah,
it was a town, but it was 7,000 people.
Yeah.
So getting across. I haven't got a bike or anything yet. I've only got a car at the moment. But just getting across town takes a while. If I want to use
still clearly see the
like
different
10
towns though?
minutes.
Because here everything's blurred together. Here you can't even tell where one city begins.
Yeah, you go from one to another. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, I've been spent 5 weeks in Walthamstow. Walthamstow is bigger than York, actually. Walthamstow is a massive area of London, and I hadn't really appreciated that till we lived there, and it takes so long to get anywhere,
Yeah.
down there. But no, you can't see the next village. You've got good views actually across, because it's on a hill and we're at the top of a hill. We've got really, really good views across to. There's a Longleat Safari Park only about 3 miles away, and things like that, where they've got nice lions. You can hear the lions apparently on some nights. But no, it's so far everybody's lovely.
But Andy, where you live, right? You've got that. You could do that drive from where you live right down to San Diego, and you pretty much you haven't left any sort of it's all built up.
No. When you go through like Highway 5, Central Valley, it's all farmland. It's all empty. Stuff down there, pretty much. Yeah. But in the suburbs, you literally just one giant city.
It's like it's also like that.
Miles and miles.
That drive from New York to Pennsylvania, it's kind of like that as well. Like that's just built up the whole way through. But you've got places in the US, because the US is actually pretty similar in size to Australia. Like Montana, right? That's like sparse out there.
Because they want to keep it that way. We're not overdeveloping like some places are. We want the open spaces. We want the natural resources.
And obviously parts of Texas are really,
Texas, I was thinking.
Well, no one wants to go there anyway, so it's Texas.
Open carry.
Those idiots wanted to secede from the Union a while back.
Those Confederates.
Brilliant.
Dear. No, I like Texans.
But see, the thing is with where we live here, because we live like right on the opposite side of Australia to pretty much where everyone else is. So there's this little pocket of population, and then and pretty much if you drive north of our city, it literally turns into like rural land, farmland, and you get hardly any population for hundreds and hundreds of kilometers until you might reach the next town. It might be 3-4 hours drive away, and then you might get a 20,000.
How far are you from what would be considered the bush, right? How far are you from that kind of stuff?
So I could jump in my car and drive about an hour, and I would hit the bush. Yeah.
There's a TV program
Swan
on
Valley.
here in the UK at the moment by a comedian called Bill Bailey, and
Yep.
he is in Western Australia.
Yeah,
In fact,
yeah.
next week, this show this week, he's coming to Perth, I think.
Yeah.
I'll be watching it.
Yep.
So
Yeah, me too.
the-
Yeah.
the
He did.
the
He
landscape
did good.
where you were.
He did a good job actually with the
Yeah,
the
he
other
did a
stuff
good
I saw.
series. Yeah, he did a good series in Australia where he spent quite a bit of time in
Yeah.
Western Australia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be
yeah. I
done.
mean, it's absolutely fascinating. It looks gorgeous. I want to come. We should have an EMOM there.
Oh yeah, we
We'll
should.
come and do an EMOM.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There was a person that
Let's have
used to be on our channel that came and was going to organise a synth thing down the southwest, which is
Yeah.
in the country.
Synths by the sea or something.
I forget what her name was now. But yeah, I haven't seen that person for a while now. Anyway, I
Did you
believe
watch the
that
Pet
person
Shop
was.
Boys thing, by the way?
I didn't get to see it because I think it was on the BBC. And for me to watch it, I have to do the whole VPN trick, and it was a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
To get through iPlayer,
Yeah.
But I heard it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it, Daren?
Yeah.
I've got it to watch. That's why I was just asking if anyone watched it.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the person's name now. The Synth by the Sea person. They used to be a regular on our show.
Susanna Aston.
Susanna, that's it. Yeah, she used to be in the UK. She used to come from the UK, and then she moved over. And I haven't seen her for ages, so I don't know what's going on.
No, actually, no.
Yeah.
She's sort of disappeared off the radar. Sling her a message. That's a good thought.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. But yeah, she lives down like in the southwest and what we call the Margaret River area. It's it's like a rural area down there. Lots of wineries and that. That would be a good place to do it because we'd all have to travel. I mean, you're already traveling, we're traveling. So everyone would go down there. It's a really, really nice part of the
great
world.
food and wines.
Yeah, it's
The only problem would be
gorgeous part of the world.
problem would be probably lack of accommodation.
Oh, he just
Is
Depends on
Syrah
which
still
time of
the
year.
top wine
I've got,
there?
I've got,
Yeah.
Can't
I've
do
got
that
camping gear here, so I'll bring that.
pitch a tent, mate.
Bring your house.
Your portable bed.
Just
I've got-
gate
I've
crash
got
someone's house.
Yeah, I bought a bloke bed, and it's a king size.
I've got those queen size like air mattresses. They're so good, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're
Actually,
so
it's
cheap.
great, actually, it's really good. Yeah,
They're so
it's 60
cheap.
quid off Amazon. Yeah,
Yeah. And you just
absolutely brilliant.
I've got this little thing that you plug into the cigarette lighter in the car. And it's
yeah.
like a little fan.
Oh, yeah.
And you just chuck it in, and
Yeah.
like 2 seconds, it's completely inflated.
It blows
I've
up,
actually
yeah.
blown up
yeah.
a queen size mattress once. That was fun.
Did you do that with your mouth? Are you serious?
No.
Yes.
Oh no! You would have been
no.
you would have been like getting lightheaded from that.
Yeah.
A foot pump.
Well, it was when I was younger. And,
You would have had
much more
hypoxia.
active, so
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, when I play water polo, my lungs are really good. So
Well, anyway. Yeah, so I think we'll probably wrap it up, hey? Because then I can get an
Cool.
extra half an hour sleep tonight.
Yeah. Get your beauty sleep.
Yep. And I'll let you know how it went next week on the show. Hey,
Oh.
nice to have you, Brooks. I haven't seen you for a while. It's really good to see you, mate.
Yeah,
do
it's
miss
great
you on the
to
show.
see you.
Don't know what the coming Saturdays and things look like, but I've noticed that your 250th show is coming up, so I will
Oh, yeah.
definitely be on for that
Forgot
if you'll
about
have
that.
me.
Oh, of course we'll have you. Absolutely.
So yeah, I know it was 247. I thought, right, mental note, I will be
So
there.
3 weeks away from now. What's that? It's probably gonna hit May, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Sometime in May.
Yeah.
I'm
That'll be
messing
close
up
to
on
when Super Booth's on. Actually,
Oh, that'd be
close.
interesting. Yeah, it will
Yeah.
be. Yeah, it will actually. You're right. Yeah.
might be the show
So
before.
everyone that matters will be at Super Booth, but not me. I keep spending my pennies on things. That means I can't afford flights and hotels in Berlin. But never mind.
I'm the
Nope.
same, mate.
But
Yeah.
Next year,
everybody that
next
matters
year,
will
next
be
year.
here, and not at Super.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, blow my neck.
Yeah.
Don't put us down.
Yeah. I apologise. That wasn't what I meant.
I may be in London
Jason in
next
chat's
weekend.
going, wow, we're cranking them out. But your thing you got to remember, Jason, is literally we just rock up every week and we're here. And we're not getting any younger. So when we're talking about these numbers, our age has also increased as well.
So you're saying, Rance, the reason why we do this show so frequently is so that you cannot see us aging, because you see us every week, therefore you don't notice that we're aging.
You just don't know that. It's
excellent
incremental.
strategy. Works for me.
Yeah.
It's incremental.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I did that, was it what show was it? Oh, the 5th birthday show. That's right. And I played that video of me doing the first show. I looked at myself and I went,
Yeah.
wow, how young did I look? And it was only 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, dear.
All right, everyone. take care. It's been lovely jumping back in again.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
See you, folks.
All the best.
Take care.
See you in 3
See you
weeks.
later. Bye, everybody.
See you, email.
Doodles.
Bye. Bye. Bye.